Wars.
Focus.
The first thing people are going to hear is, I like the Clone Wars. And you know what?
Counting down badly.
Because when I go silent is when the mics unmute.
When you do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're going, and you go live on 3, like that's your fault.
No,
It's your
5,
fault.
4, 3 is like
Right.
3 is when
That
I
is
hit the
confusing,
unmute
Gage,
because it's
because-
multiple buttons, so it's about timing of when you're seen.
Mm-hmm.
You've never told us that, so I've always assumed that we are good until you're done counting down.
He does it on purpose.
That's why I stopped speaking as well. Oh
So,
dear.
we
We've been playing this
here at
campaign for going on
Component
5 years now, and we only
Now
just
need to
learned this past
apologize.
minute.
apologize for the stuff that you may have heard over the years. We've never said anything crazy, but there are some weird conversations you may have caught the tail end of.
I apologize for nothing.
I apologize for nothing.
That's because he does it on purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. Why
Yeah,
not?
sure, yeah. Well, today you guys
Flavor.
learned something about TV. Okay. Anyway, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Elendor Chronicles. We're in the end game now, and I've been saying that for weeks, but we really are. We leveled up at the end of last time. We are heading for the end of the live broadcast of this show because we've got something eventually we have in the works that hopefully will be ready. Well, no, I say live broadcast. You still see a live show, but might be a little bit more pizzazz for Elendor. But anyway, before we get on with tonight's episode, I have a few things to cover. First of what being is, if you want to support us, there's multiple ways to do that. To do it for free and help us out the most, simply just get involved with our live chat, share our stuff on social media, comment on our YouTube stuff. We see you. If you see our shorts, give them a share, give them a like, send them to your friends. All that groovy stuff. You can also listen to our royalty-free soundtrack available on everywhere you get music. It's available absolutely everywhere. It's called the Elendor Chronicles Season 1, and also we allow you to put that in your creative works completely free of charge. We're never going to claim on it. Just go ahead, use the songs. Hell, I want to see a real shopping channel use Zorp's Emporium just for the absolute immersion of that. But yes, if you do want to help us out monetarily, you can do so either by becoming one of our Twitch subs or joining us on Patreon. Patreon gives us the biggest slice of the pie and helps us make more shows like this one. Right, without further ado, let's get on with tonight's episode. Look, I fumbled all of the controls then as well. Like, that was really non-smooth, and I'm gonna blame you guys. So,
Fine with this.
last time on the Elendor Chronicles, we continued off in... Let's go back. Let's go recently. Our party of brave heroes, after taking a detour where they needed to split up, finally journeyed to the Tsardom of the Dillingham, which, upon arrival, they discovered was under new management. More importantly, it was now fully controlled pretty much by the Free Guilds Republic, a interesting political system that didn't kind of sit well with our nobility. But they were here on a bigger journey, shall we say. After making themselves known and utilizing existing connections, they found themselves in a holy site that hadn't been trod outside of the royal family for many years, the Great Forge, which, after a quick investigation and some pretty insightful reasoning from Valymr, after a little bit of prompting, they discovered another hidden sanctum with yet another guardian, another party member of the heroes' party. We met Arvabella, the dwarven smith, or creative mind of the party. She had been living under there for many years, creating many works, and had the best memory of any guardian they'd met yet. We returned halfway through our party's meeting her over a nice pottage lunch. The first thing to wrap their head around, however, was something lofty, something almost unimaginable. A realization that after beating the apocalypse, that there was the potential that they would become the new gods. Breton seeming relatively transfixed with the significance of that, but also understanding that there are other ways, that the paths were open to them, but there would be a future time to decide. Valymr, while experiencing existential dread, was not helped by the weak-flavoured beverage that he was handed, the water-like ale that was there to replace the unsafe drinking water. Either way, the conversation soon turned to seals, why they would still need cosmium, and how to use it when attacking Zedaar. After more discussions, they decided that they had everything they needed, with Bella handing a small leather-bound manual to Breton with the recipe for making cosmium and from completing the seal ritual. The party then took some time to both say their goodbyes and commit to the final plan. They informed the Iron Duke of the plans to make cosmium, told him what they would need. They told Eolas that the time was ready for him to take his place at the army, and they told the Emperor of the Rien to start mustering the troops, start heading out and begin the final preparations for the journey across the sea to face down the draconic horde. They then decided that their place would be at the head of the army assaulting the Blood Keep, deep within the plains of Abyss, through multiple layers and multiple portals, as they needed to make sure the gemstone given to them by Salwa was in place before the final hour. We left off as the party managed to jump on a set of wagons bound for the army ahead that was resupplying, to get a little bit of rest on their way one day's ride outside of the kingdom of the Nardathel's capital, Gervalu. Finally, I need to give you your chance now to get yourself a point of inspiration. And I'm going to keep this relatively topical for what's going to be ahead. What was the race of creatures running the arcane forge the first time you went into the Abyss?
I don't know, but I have one of their halberds.
Fuck. You say halberds, and that made me think like, is it? It's not devils though. Maragons are devils, so it wouldn't be those. Those are creatures that have halberds. It wasn't minotaurs.
Nope.
And it was running it, not the slaves, because there were human slaves that were working it too.
It was the
I
ones
don't know
that...
about running it, like the black paladin people, like the big
No,
big
it's-
skeleton boys.
The things that you ended up siding with and inciting rebellion within. Slightly.
I don't remember a name.
Nope, don't remember.
Can we have the first letter?
I wanted to say a Babo, but that doesn't
Just
sound
give
right.
me a description of what they looked like, because I can't even remember how you described them.
They were pig-like with mouths in their stomach.
Yeah, even with that, I can't. That doesn't sound something that is familiar to me. Pig-like with mouths in their stomach.
Chronicler. I think is what they're called, cleric here. But those are way too high power for a slave working on
Yeah, it wasn't Chlorocare.
either that or dretches, but dretches don't have stomachs. Yeah, I don't know.
What was the first letter of their?
I'm not giving you a letter.
Oh well, then well.
Is it a homebrewed creature from some obscure thing, or is it an actual 5e monster?
It's not a 5e monster.
And that's why I don't know it.
That would explain why it's something like I don't recognize it. That's kind of outside of my wheelhouse of expertise.
They're a 2e
I-
monster.
I think I remember you mentioning that as well, Midge. That they were specifically a 2e monster. Like, yeah, right. I gotta take the L on this one. I do not remember what they were.
Okay. Well, then I will say that today you guys didn't get your inspiration. And I'm not revealing it because it might come up today. So, currently the three of you are getting the best rest you can on a baggage train. Is there anything else you'd like to do? Because I will remind you, you need the benefits of a long rest to accept your level up.
I'll be sleeping then.
Doesn't have to be sleep,
Yeah, I guess so.
but it needs to be a rest.
Well, I trance anyway. No, I
No,
don't
I
think
think-
there's anything specific I'm up to.
Yeah. Sleeping is sleeping seems like it.
Okay. So you all bed down, get as comfortable as you possibly can traveling in a baggage train. After a few hours, well, you wake up. You're about halfway there. The sky still red. It's about this time that you pass the farmhouse that you found that group of knights slain at before. As you pass it, you notice that the farmhouse where the field, where the Cabbage Patch battle happened, that field has now been replaced with a small cemetery. You can continue traveling on. The game on Fantasy Grounds is currently crashed, so I will be rebooting it.
Yeah, I've been unable to get into it anyway. FBI.
I have no issues.
Some more hours pass. And just as you think you reach the cusp of a full day, you see ahead of you a large tent camp. The various brightly coloured and heraldry-laden tents sprawling out, but their colours are muted, worn and covered in ash. Then, coming into view, you notice a palisade that they've built around the tent encampment. And as the trees clear, as you get towards a better view, as the road slowly dips down and then begins to rise again out of the copse of trees, you notice it. The once mighty and almost beautiful manor house in which the portal was hidden. The four-story manor house, the huge farmhouse. It's been ripped asunder, and only half of it remains. The portal, now the size of a citadel fortress.
Oh, damn.
You see field artillery, ballista, and other smaller pieces of engineering aimed towards the portal door. You see a clear field of fire. And you see guards stationed looking at it. It seems that since the light in the sky, since the apocalypse really became in its fullest form, the simple closable portal door has become a much larger incursion. You also see pits, areas that were once farmland have now been dug up, turned into pits where you see piles and piles of devilish and demonic corpses being expunged through holy fire. It's about this time that the baggage train makes it to the camp, and you are told that you can dismount.
How many men does it look like there are in this camp?
This
roughly?
encampment? It's a relatively large army. I would say, at a glance, 500, 600.
Okay. We know who is the commander in charge of this. Is it Breton's mentor that's in charge?
As far as you know, Breton's mentor was put in charge of organizing this, yes. But you also know that the king, the High King, is here currently.
Okay. I guess we should go and find the High King then. Find the biggest tent.
Okay. It doesn't take you too long to find the king's tent. And you are let in by the guards. Inside, you see High King Gilliam. I think it's Gilliam.
Gilliam. Oh, sorry, Gilliam.
Gilliam. You see Breton's mentor. And
You remember what his name is, Midge?
I do. It is Elwyn.
Elwyn de Reynard, yes.
It's Elwyn. You see Elwyn. This time not in that really disheveled armor that you've seen in him prior to this. Last time you saw him, he looked almost like a hedge knight. Now he's in essentially full silver plate with a white cloak, and then a black and white fur sash, and I mean fur as in the heraldic fur, going across with a emblazoned gold symbol in the center of it. And it's got like that, to use real world armor styles, it's got that like crisp line sort of embossment in the plate, like a Milanese plate body, if you know what that looks like. They are stood there with one other who you do not recognize, and they seem to be going over a report. The individual that you've never seen before is rough. They are looking in rough shape, but they are still able to stand and give a report. They're clearly someone who is wearing, you would say like medium armor, like it's a combination of chains and leathers, cloak, but they've got their arm in a sling, and they are clearly bloodied. And as you enter, all three of them kind of look at you, and Elwyn says, "You finally arrived. It is very good to see you."
It seems like things are coming along here.
Yes. We've been very lucky to I've only had to deal with a few excursions from the portal.
Well, before too much longer, that luck is going to be put to its limits.
That is true.
Have you informed everyone that the time for the push is about to come?
We're waiting for you to confirm, but we will do so. You will want to hear from you'll want to hear from Bosson here. He was sent on a scouting expedition into the portal to get a recent lay of the land.
There's nothing else, you may as well get straight to it.
The individual identified as Bosson kind of looks to Elwyn and the High King and just nods, and I'm sorry I'm not in a more respectable dress right now, but I came straight from the infirmary after being checked. It is... Our enemy is aware that we are assembling a force here, though, from what we can tell, they do not know of our intent. We managed to capture one of the denizens of the plane beyond and interrogate them.
You managed to interrogate a being from beyond? Was it a human servant or an actual demon?
We think they were human once. They weren't fully demon. Either way. They were in the employ of a Dread Knight. They had taken this man as some sort of squire. Either way. The forces that are protecting this blood keep, for the most part, they have pulled out of the first layer of the abyss that this portal connects to. Instead, opting to only send forces through when they mean to harass us. Their need for the infernal forges and the blood silver seems to have passed. They're beyond that at this point. We managed to get eyes on the secondary portal. It is about as large as this one that has now appeared out of here. So it should be well enough to get our forces through. However, those who were sent through on the other side did not make it back. We'll be going in relatively blind.
What else is new?
We do have an outpost in that first layer. That is where I have come from today to give you this report. Whether to be
Have
there.
Have you managed to somehow alleviate the effects of coming back and forth, changing time?
No. It is what I was about to get onto. The effective time for me. This is about 2 weeks later than I intended to come through. It is not an exact science, so to speak.
Okay, well, how many men are you considering sending through? Should we leave some here to guard the portal? How many would you want for that job, if so?
The High King speaks up. I will stay here with a contingent of the Royal Guard who should be making their way up to camp soon. They were on the... they were to follow up the supplier run that you arrived on. So they should be arriving within the next hour or so. We will hold the portal, make sure it does not close, make sure that nothing other than yourselves come back through. Elwyn and you three will lead the forces here that are assembled through. We have a lot of fine knights and paladin to make this assault.
that case, I guess we'll take an hour, get ourselves cleaned up after our travel, and then what's your reason to not push on in?
Well, I would quite like to know what it is we are doing when we get in. Are we looking to destroy this keep?
Current plans are we make our way to the Blood Keep and begin to secure it, I guess is the best way to phrase it. Defeat any individuals who might be there, ruin it as a place of control for the enemy forces. If intelligence is to be correct, it should be adjacent to a lake of blood. We have something in our possession that we hope to use to, well, send it to the hells, I guess is a figurative way to put it. In doing so, it should significantly inconvenience the dragons at the island, leading into the Rien and the Eladrin Empire's attack on it in the coming weeks. It's a two-pronged assault, us leading the forefront, setting up the basis for what will be the bigger assault on the Dragon Isles.
So,
Keeping control of that keep, it will be a nightmare to do, considering holding anything in the abyss is, well...
It's a suicide mission. It's a one-way trip.
But we need to make sure the timing is perfect on that. We need to make sure that when we get control of that lake and we set up the damage to be done to that, the damage to be done to the lake, that it cannot be undone or prevented.
Timing is critical to this entire endeavor, and because of the time dilation effect traveling between the planes, we don't know exactly when we'll need it when we get back on the other side. For that reason, it has to be held for as long as possible, until the last possible minute.
the tent is silent. Even if we fail to hold the keep, is there such a way that we can make sure that the device is hidden, remains hidden?
I have it inside a bag right now that keeps it locked in an extra dimensional plane. It can't be sensed or detected so long as it's within that bag.
Theoretically, the device, once it's buried in the lake, and if it sinks deep enough, we may not need to worry about being found, but there is a noticeable concern there. We don't know what's in that lake. There may be creatures, there may be demons that live in that lake, and Brett just takes a look around. None of us are really of the type or the condition that's going to go in and find out. That itself would be just asking for your own death.
The idea is, once we give you the word, you drop it in. And we'll activate the command sequence to detonate it. It should theoretically freeze the entire thing.
That's what we've been told by a reliable source.
Well, okay.
I understand if this does not seem like the full-blown plan that we may have been able to come up with, but we are dealing on so many unknowns that we are working at the best of our ability. We don't know what the enemy number is going to look like. We don't know what the forces of the keep are. We don't even know how big the keep itself is. We don't know if there are provisions in the keep. We don't know how long we're going to need to hold it.
Keeping provisions for a month, maybe. Hopefully less, but if we bring provisions with us to hold for a month, that...
And that's counting on the abyss itself not ruining the provisions that we bring with us. Other planes do have a nasty habit of interfering with foodstuff, basic materials, anything that's not from it being corrupted by it.
Yes. We've taken extra steps to make sure that the barrels and some of the provisions are sanctified. This is why that's why we have been slow rolling a lot of the provisions in. There's the difference between provisions keeping this camp alive and provisions that we will be taking with us. We did think about that, but depending on what we face, 600 men in a siege is going to be tight either way. A siege and holding a fort, even tighter.
We can secure a good foothold, get you in safely without actually having to siege the fort. It's a lot easier to hold a fort than it is to siege it.
Absolutely.
600 men, I have no doubt that we could secure the position. It's just a matter of getting the position secure. That's where Breton kind of gestures around to the three of them. That's where we plan on handling most of the heavy lifting. Let us get in, do what we do best. Open the front gate so you all can waltz right in.
That's the idea.
More for us to infiltrate. Goes unnoticed while they have an army outside their front gates. I mean, hopefully they won't see it coming, but with the hope.
The trip there is going to be hazardous as well. I can't remember exactly, but I believe it was at least 3 days through the abyss to get to the portal that leads to the plane where the blood keep actually is, because it is not on the plane of existence that the portal in there actually connects to. And that's not to say how many days it'll take to get to there when we arrive.
Borson also nods. 3 days is about my assessment as well. 2.5 with a more direct route, but it also depends. It can be upwards of 5 depending on the movement of those creatures. Those little insectoid things.
And the big insectoid things too.
Managed to avoid those for the most part.
How
They
many
don't look fun.
how many archers do we have in the army? Do we have things that can harry individuals at range before they engage? Because otherwise we may run the serious risk of these creatures just picking people off bit by bit without engaging.
Most of the knights carry an assortment of weapons themselves. The paladins more so. It was difficult to get a more wide variety of troop type, shall we say, for such a mission. It takes the most fervent of individuals, but most can utilize a ranged weapon of sorts. I'm sure
Silvered
we can supply
weapons as
them.
well?
We have taken those precautions, yes.
The days that we have before we go in, I'd like them in drilling with the ranged weapons. I feel like that's going to be the more predominant issue we run into on the way to the keep.
Duly noted.
If I may be so bold as to suggested.
Duly noted. I will pass it around.
Ruby will look to Breton. I need to get back to studying.
Yeah, we've all got work to do. Breton feels there's a moment where Breton feels like he's in a very odd position, because when he was in the Rien, he was giving those inspirational speeches not just to the soldiers that were there from the Nardathel, but like the local Rienian troops too, and some of the Elagian troops, the ones that cared to listen to a Hume. But I feel like he's a little like resigned here, because this place is being led by the High King, and the audacity of him giving an inspirational speech when the High King is literally here. It's like, that's not my place. These people have their noble leader.
King's like, no, my toes.
Could be from the lady that Sunderstars.
We ranked up to 17, didn't we?
You're 17, yes.
Sweet. 4 beams of Eldritch Blaze.
Oh yeah, my cantrips are stronger.
Yeah, enjoy those max level cantrips, guys. Meanwhile, the melee fighters are just...
I do both.
Please, everything I'm shooting at is fire-based, so, that works great for me.
These are demons, not devils, so maybe
They're
helps.
still resistant
It's
to fire.
both.
Balls.
You've been fighting
Well,
both.
most
yeah.
demons are not immune to fire at the very least, so
You've
No
also
one's
been-
immune to Ruby's fire.
You've also been fighting a lot of undead, remember, with this.
we have been fighting undead too, yeah.
My firebolt's hit for what, 40-10 now, I think?
Yeah, 40-10 is the max level for cantrips.
I think I'm gonna reattune to the spell lock gauntlet then.
Just put out 2d10 per 4 times, yeah, that's the... You know what, guys? Nobody bothered with the longbows. We got an artillery cannon right here.
Hame?
No,
Nah.
It's just
I'm
like
good.
those
Iron
things just
Man
start
this
coming
shit
down, and Valymr just reads up. It's just a CSAT just across the sky.
The scariest noise in all of human history.
Nope. It's the A10.
All the water, yeah.
It is a continuous sound that you can tell there is intermediate between it, but you can't actually hear the spaces in between. That's how fast it's going.
Anyway, I've got to keep preparing my spell, so...
How long until we want to jump through this portal? Like, what is our time scale right now? Because we could go in an hour when all these guys, the Royal Guard, show up. So earliest 1 hour, latest ASAP. But like, what? How long? Like,
Give them at least a day. Some of these individuals are not prepared to march out as soon as they are. They may want to start writing letters.
fucking Jesus. I mean, fucking Caffriel.
I can't log into Fantasy Grounds.
It was
I
I
just
got
got
kicked
in.
and I couldn't log in for a while. I got back in. Just give it a minute.
Yeah.
I'm restarting it now.
It's like it's doing a rolling server lockout on the regions. Remind me, Midge, Basson, is he the one that Breton donated the Hayer armor to?
No, Basson is... you've never met Basson before.
Okay.
This guy, description, like, visuals-wise, think like a Ranger of Gondor. This guy's
Sure.
clearly a knight, but he's not in, like, plate. He went ahead as a scout, like, he's not messing about.
My boy
with-
Faramir.
Listen, my favorite Rangers are the ones that say, bows? Pfft, give me 2 swords, let's kick some ass. I respect
Out
it.
of curiosity, those ugly dudes, the pig faces, mouths, and the stomachs, were they called Hound Knights by any chance?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Well, they were wielding Hound Knight glaives.
Yo, those were the people that were enslaving them.
Oh, were they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I have zero clue. No, never mind. Just zero, absolute zero clue.
If we... Basson, the keep that is nearby the portal where we exit, is it still abandoned? Well, I imagine at the moment it's more or less destroyed, so it could be a bit still
This is the
abandoned.
ruins, yes. I saw those a couple of times on the way in. Yes, that's very much ruins. There is a big hole in the ground there.
You're welcome.
That was when we dropped the dagger in, right?
It was the shard of something. That
No,
just
it was a
completely-
vorpal blade that you threw down.
Right,
on
yes,
top
the
of-
vorpal
and-
dagger
and,
that we
and
dropped
the,
in there.
And the forge was built on a living creature.
Yeah.
And you just gotta cut it in half.
Listen, sometimes you just do a stupid thing and it just happens to work out perfectly, and it's like, yeah, we meant to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
But anyway, Elwyn goes, please let me find you a tent to use.
Sure.
Thank you.
Let me know when such tenting has been provided. I'm going to take a walk around the camp and just see what the state of everything is.
Okay. You're provided with like a very nice, noble tent. There's like a living space and then multiple bed spaces off of it. It's got a cook fire in the center.
Oops.
Very
Wrong
comfortable.
button.
Couple of
I've
like,
just been attacked.
That was
What
my
is
fault.
this? What is
Clicked the wrong
this?
button. I'm sorry.
You missed.
This is something that it's natural, but it's rare. Plus 14. That 4 resulted in an 18 to hit. That is D&D at high level.
Mm-hmm.
Armor class ceases to matter at a certain point.
Absolutely. So.
My bonus, I think.
With my glaive, I've got 15.
Jesus, the Blade of Equilibrium is also a plus 15, and that's a big old bonus weapon.
I've only got a +4. Or +14.
I was gonna say that I don't know if that was a +4. You're missing about 10 off that.
I actually need to upgrade that because I have the Warweave wand, and that does more. Anyway, carry on.
So yep, you're shown to a large tent, which Ruby, you find a little writing desk area that you could study at, or there's like various chailons and comfy chairs, etc. It's a nice tent. Breton, give me a perception check as you wander the camp. Are you looking for something are you looking to do something specific?
He's checking the troops. He's just kind of looking over. I think instinctively he's still looking for like who looks nervous, who looks like they're not comfortable, who looks like they're hitting that point of like the morale's getting low. He's looking to do that thing where it's like, listen, he's trying to keep the morale high. He knows what he's looking for.
It does have the +3 to it.
Well, I rolled a 4, so that's a 12.
Okay. The first thing that really takes your eye, Breton, is the ground near the portal. Almost up to this palisade has been corrupted at this point. The floor itself is like the grass has become that red grass that you saw the other side. Like, remember, it was like flowing red steppe. Like the natural here is almost merging with that. And this portal isn't some nice, chic, metallic construction. It's more like frozen blood at this point, with an ever liquid shimmer to the actual magic in the center. There isn't anyone that looks like worried or nervous. But you do pick up on a load of the heraldry around. Some knightly orders that you've seen before. Met some of like various other knights from. There's also a lot of local and minor nobles. Like, you see people that have parlayed or even been at like dances that the Sunderstars have been to, or might have even had family members meet at the Sunderstar Manor at one point. There's a lot of just like eclectic little things of there's people from all over the Nardathel, from all 5 kingdoms here, and you also pick up on that there is a group of knights from Havre as well. You see them all in with their very. You see a group of knights, all with very kind of pale skin and dark features, in brilliant blood red armor, like painted plate mail. They've had their plate mail fashioned in these bright reds, and it's like dark red with then like brighter red patterning on it, and various thing. And the one that looks to be their leader is in plate mail of brilliant pink. Like bright fuchsia pink. With this, you see a large tower shield that he's carrying, with the head of a unicorn facing forward, the horn forming a spike out of the shield, and then the unicorn has fangs.
Jesus Christ, these guys really just take it both ways, don't they?
Whoa. Well, I'm dinner.
You know what? That came out different than I intended, but
yeah, I can imagine.
Stand by what we said.
Giggity.
Whatever they're into. No judgment.
No, absolutely, whatever they're into. It's just like, at one point it's like, yeah, it's intimidating, but also listen, I like what I like, and fuck off, I like it.
Listen, it takes a man very secure in himself to wear off the salmon color. All right,
I mean,
people
you're
just
not
get
wrong.
it.
Pink's a men's color. What are you on about? The Victorian color switch hasn't happened yet. Pink is definitely a man's color.
The idea also that these individuals are just like, it's not about what you wear, it's about what you do while you're wearing it.
In this case, he's fucking the enemy.
Breton's taking note of this,
Yeah, I'm sure.
but for more, he's taking more of a note that he's looking for 2 orders more specifically.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking, when we first came out to this portal, we found a series of paladins who had been killed, and
Yes.
we managed to find a hammer called Demal, which Breton returned to the, I think it was the quartermaster at the keep, to then be returned to the proper order that it was responsible for maintaining it.
Yes.
Does he recognize the heraldry of that order here?
Yes.
Or is that heraldry entire? We do. Okay, so they are
Yeah.
there.
You see a single tent of that order.
He's probably going to walk over there and talk to them. But the other one is this: does he recognize? I think it was the order of the Scarlet Fire, or it was the order we
I think-
found the
The
Vistilian
ones in the
Theocracy.
Vistilian Theocracy.
Purifying flame.
The Purifying Flame. That is the one. Scarlet Fire, I think, was the one Brett was going to name himself before that became no longer a point.
Mhm.
Are they also here?
With a 12, you don't see the Purifying Flame.
You know what? That's for the best. He's going to make his way over towards the.
True.
Don't cause don't make any problems. Won't be no problems, I believe is the phrase. Breton's gonna make his way over towards the tent of the the now reduced order of knights to see to check on them and see what's going on over there.
It's a simple tent, probably a 2-man tent. But you see 3 individuals sat by a cook stove. One that looks more like a sergeant at arms, like a grizzled veteran. One who looks like a knight, and one who looks to be like their squire. The squire is tending to the cook stove. The sergeant at arms is he's actually got a sanguillum, and he's cutting an apple with it. And the knight is reading. The knight looks up at you as you approach.
What time of day is it? Actually, I guess it's a silly question.
It's red time.
Yeah, I was like, I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter. It's doom o'clock. God, how does that change people's vernacular? Did you say like afternoon? Do you say morning, or do you just
those
just
basically?
instinctual?
So you will have heard of, because you've been following obviously the various camps, various things. Basically, the very few people who own Legoran's Lander clockwork clocks are like currently spending most of their days. They've given up their day job, but they're just telling people the time all the time.
That's what I think. You said Breton is going to peek something up and says, "Gentlemen."
In Theoden, you get hello, Sir Knight. I am unfamiliar. He's looking at your any heraldry on it. I am unfamiliar with your order, but please sit with us for a while.
I don't think Breton wears any.
No, you're not.
heraldry.
You're just
Because
in our
he
armor.
no longer serves House Sunderstar, and he's wearing the +2 armor that we found after we encountered the Knight Errant, which I don't think had any heraldry on it. So he's just an unadorned knight.
Yeah. Please, Sir Knight, just warm yourself by the fire.
Thank you. I apologize. I'm actually not familiar with your order. Which order do you serve?
God. let me go to my notes. Give me a moment.
We never actually learned this, so this is something Breton
Yeah.
is more curious about. He's trying to close that chapter.
Yeah, give me a moment. I didn't think I'd have to dig these guys up.
You should have known the second that I asked about him, Midge, that
Fair
you were going to have to remember everything about him. We apologize here at the
Sorry.
Elendor Chronicles for asking a question that the Midge was not prepared to answer. Please enjoy this intermission music.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Okay, I've got it. Wait, you're speaking in Fionian. I'll just use my English. We're a small group of what remains of the once illustrious Squires of Tranquility.
You're right. We would be speaking in Fionian, so pardon me. Squires of Tranquility.
I like that I dropped the accent and you put it off.
You're right. No, you said Fionian, so I have to do the accent.
Yeah.
I apologize for jumping in unnoticed. Some time ago, when we were first investigating this portal, I came across a group of individuals who had come across their ends from some demon or another. I have reason to believe they may have been members of your order, members who now are no longer with us. But upon finding them, many of the possessions were procured and returned to the quartermaster at keep in... not Givriamuvel, that's Ruby's. It's Gavalou. I always mix the two up.
Just say the capital.
The capital. I want to remember the proper name, damn it. I don't know why I can't remember. I keep forgetting Gavalou.
His eyes kind of brighten, but also there's an element of sorrow to them. You as you're the knight that found our fallen comrades. I thank you. The reason we're here is the quartermaster. He alerted us, and we set out to bury them. Then, when we heard this army was forming, we joined up.
Then I trust that you have the. Breton kind of casually looks around. Does he notice that the Demal is here? Are any of them carrying it?
Neither of these guys are carrying it. Please, my name is Ferdinand. That's Taffy, pointing to the squire. And that's Hamo. And Hamo just kind of crunches into his apple. He's like, thank you so much. Please sit with us for a while.
If I will. I was hoping to see that one of you had brought them all. The first time we made our way to the abyss, it crushed a few heads of creatures that were here. I was hoping you might get a second chance at it.
That would be a good use for it, but no. Another knight of our order took it home to give it pride of place in our order's most precious sanctum.
And so too may it rest. It is going to be a dangerous journey. Because we set out even tomorrow as the next day. And even then, we are going to spend days in the abyss. Are you all prepared for it?
Myself and Hamo are ready for anything. Taffy will be staying here and taking down the camp and remain until we return.
Good to know. If there's anything you need once we go to the portal, you ask me.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Breton Montelier.
He takes a pause for a moment. Forgive me. He goes from seated position where he was to on his knee, like a knight in reverence. I did not know it was you, sir. I thank you even more so that you are the one to have found and honored our men so. I've heard so much about your travels and your journey and what you've been doing for everybody. It will be an honor to fight by your side.
It has been a story to be certain. One that if you had told me 6 months ago I was going to go on, that I would not have believed you. But now, here we are, about to charge into the abyss like the stories of old and give what to these demons which deserve it coming. But I'm curious if you would tell me about yourselves. What campaigns have you been on? What duties of oath have you done to your order?
He looks around. Hamo here is he's a veteran of the last two now. Rhiannian Eladrin wars. He has seen many a battle. I, however, I sported quest of our order elsewhere. I spent much of my time in Solaran, actually in the Cognate.
Sorry, the names were is it Hamo or Hammer?
Hamo, Hamo.
Okay, so I actually did get that right. Hemotaphy, and the individual speaking is
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand. Yes, that was it. I'm making a note of these guys because these guys are gonna fucking live. Goddammit.
Spanish Carthaginian.
So good to know. It is a weird fate that brings these stories together, but I trust that by the time we are done with them, you will have added another notch in your belt for an accomplishment, something to be remembered for your altar.
He like nods quietly. I look forward to the world we're going to create once this is all over.
It's going to be a beautiful dawn.
Absolutely is. Would you care for some wine?
I cannot say no.
He pours you pours your wine, and you can.
Breton will stay here and just exchange some more stories as we
Sure.
move on, and don't have to sit here and drone on this forever.
Absolutely. Valymr, what are you doing at this point?
Probably not much other than, I don't know.
We know Havaray's here. You could go ask for Mrs.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go to the Havaray area.
If Breton saw it and Valymr didn't, he would point out Havaray is here, and just so he knew.
Or some knights from Havaray.
Can I roll just in case?
Sure. What would you like to roll? What
If
are
I
you
did-
looking for? Like, what are you doing?
I mean, just to see if I'm not actively searching. So, does my passive perception of 16? Apparently, that's not bad.
The
actually.
absolute pomp of the bright red and bright pink armor of this particular Havaray order does not go unnoticed.
Okay, I'll head on over to the Havaray area and see who I find there.
Okay. You come across that group of knights in there. All their tents are like blood red, or sort of like deep red and then bright red stripes, except for one central tent which is bright pink. And they all seem to be you actually cotton onto them very quickly as well, because they seem to be singing round a campfire in what you think is Havaray's dialect. It's an interesting mix of Fionian and Shelts. Similar-ish to, like, the Gnomish Shelts that you'd hear Zep speak every now and then when he was tinkering away. It's not too dissimilar, because essentially both the Havaray is across the bay of across the Bay of Fertility from where Zep comes from. So there's a little hint of that, but still got that Fionian flair to it. And you see these groups of knights. All of their helmets are adorned with like bat wings as well. Like
So they have the best helmets in the game. Like they have. If this were an RPG game, this would be the helmet that people use for looks.
So
that's
it's
cool.
a deep maroon color in all of their armor with like black chain underneath. And then they've got like full visor, like hound skulls with like vampire bat like bits off of the side, except for the pink armor lady. And you don't see like you see this tower, like this big tower shield like set up the side, and she's in armor, but her helmet's not on. But you do see it on a stand in her just like peeking inside her tent, this full great helm with a unicorn on top of it. The unicorn like rampant with like the horn, and then there's like tufts of like almost like horsehair stranding off of the back of the ornamental unicorn, and then the actual like front visor of the great helm goes down into like a pure like spike with like open fangs and like almost like a maured face, like molded onto the front of it.
Kind of like a gargoyle kind of face.
Yeah, like, but on like a crusading great helm, like at the front.
Aesthetics. The aesthetics are on point.
Yeah.
And this is not Isabellon.
No. This is a group of knights that you don't recognize.
Okay.
But they seem to be from the Havre. They've put it this way. They all have physical similarities to James.
I will go over and introduce myself. Greetings, Sir Knights. I'm Valymr Kensek. I've had the pleasure of meeting your Queen Elector Isabellon, and I was with her at the place with the keep with the thing and what was that place called?
The Citadel.
Shit. I was with her at the Citadel when all of this happened. I've fought alongside your folks, and you're a hardy bunch. Hope to be happy to fight alongside you guys again.
They look up, it's just like, greetings. One of the blood red armored knights starts speaking to you. The pink armored individual, she is just still belting singing, probably half drunk right now, but things like that. He's got a goblet of wine in his hand. He comes over to you. Greetings to you. We are part of the Winged Osirarians.
Winged Osirarians. A pleasure to meet you guys.
And that lady there is Lady Theodora. Lady Theodora Sandu. She joined with us on the road, and she's been the life of the party ever since.
Of the Winged Osirarians?
Yes.
How goes your preparation for going through that? Any worries? Any what's the vibe? I can tell that the vibe in camp is not terrible.
We've been told we're going to a plane of blood. Now that doesn't sound like paradise. I don't know what does.
That is a fair point. Although I would probably recommend away from imbibing any of that particular blood. It doesn't seem.
You're the first person
where
that joke has actually landed on, so the other paladins tend to give us a bit of a distance when we mention that.
That's a halfway through the recorded sessions, and we cut over to what's going on there. The knights are fighting, and these guys are on fucking holiday.
Just making.
I'm not your typical knight paladin.
If you have had company with the Queen...
I'm a recent.
If you've had the company with the Queen of Havre, I do not expect that you have not heard our humor before.
No, it is certainly an aesthetic that I enjoy. I hope to meet your queen again. She was very, very welcoming. Her hospitality was greatly enjoyed.
Well, Havre is a beautiful place. You should make sure you see it sometime.
I do plan to. After all of this nonsense is said and done.
Would you believe the apparent apocalypse has made it look even better?
You know, I could definitely see that.
Blood red sky really goes with the deep dark desert aesthetic we had going on.
Not everywhere can just become worse. Some places gotta have a bit of improvement at the same time. Keep balance,
Yes, I completely agree with you.
Do you mind if I join you for
No, please, come on.
Pre-portal, pre-abyss drinks?
Please, we have some of the finest we've brought with us. We picked out the good cake when we first heard we were going through.
There's a reason I came to you. I've heard that Havre wine, and I've tasted it is among the best. And I will enjoy the company of the Havre Knights and drink and.
You pick up the guy that was talking to you as a guy called Vasil. And yeah, these are they're normally a mounted battalion of knights, but they're not riding their mounts through.
How many are there?
From Havre, it's about 12 of these winged Osirarians. And then this extra lady.
I'm gonna say to them that I may be able to procure some mounts once we go through. Stags and unicorns that seem reasonable. As I don't think I'll be able to get ones for everyone here, but if you're a mounted band, then having mounts would be probably a good idea for you guys, right?
It may be.
Have you at your best?
It's more the fact that we hear that we are going to be assaulting a keep, and cavalry in a siege never goes down well.
True, but it's going to take 3 days to get there, and there will be dangers along the way.
Some of us can summon our mounts. We just don't want to bring them all through. But hey, we will definitely take mounts if push comes to shove and there is need for a great charge. We are quite the lancers.
Perfect. I will be bringing my own
Streaming
as well.
every Tuesday.
You need to hop on over to Zorp's Emporium soundtrack when you throw in that kind of random ad read in the middle. Yeah, no, I'll be bringing my own mount as well, and yeah, we'll every little bit of aid is probably going to be necessary in this endeavor. So
yeah,
got us all fighting at our best.
We're mostly used to riding stallions, but with the saddle.
Stags and a unicorn, I can.
Oh, there's someone here that already rides themselves the unicorn. Look at her. When you
yeah,
again.
I was expecting if she didn't have one already, then she would probably be the one taking the unicorn.
You also look at this woman, and she is like 7 foot tall.
Brienne of Havre.
She's got a. You see also at her hip that she has a multitude of, so she's got on one side she's got a flanged mace. The other side she's got what seems to be a small Morningstar flail. And then she also seems to have next to her tower shield, this it's kind of a mix of a small lance / just standard fighting spear, but it's one where the blade is, imagine the blade of a gladius on a short spear.
That's not dissimilar to what I wield.
It's
a blade on the end of a spear. It's kind of vibes.
Yeah, it's kind of it's not long like a glaive. It's not a reach weapon.
Okay.
It's more the handle would be to your hip, and then the blade would be the rest of your torso.
I was thinking the elves' weapons at when they fought Sauron.
Kind of, just no curve to it.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, it's more like it's more like it's more like hoplite spear.
Okay.
But more blade, less pole.
A deadly weapon indeed.
Yeah, and it is spiraled like a unicorn horn.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I guess just for the rest of the night, I'll just enjoy their company, drinking, sharing stories.
Sure. Awesome. Ruby, give me. Are you staying awake?
No, she has to get her long rest in. But I was going to say, before she goes to bed, I'm presuming around the time she's getting cross-eyed from studying too much. You said there's injured people around camp?
There's a few. What you were talking to an injured individual. Obviously, there's a couple of people that have come back from.
Anybody who is
inside.
injured, she will expend the resources to heal.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You can do
Kind of doing that walking around savior thing for healing. Other than that, studying.
Yeah, give me an Arcana check for the study, but also give me a performance check. I want to see the visual impact to your healing.
That's a 13 for the studying.
Okay.
Did I roll twice?
You already did the transit one earlier, didn't you? As in not today,
No.
last session.
I did before we left.
Sorcery point to reroll.
Yeah, I can also do that.
Oh, did you not?
This is a choose, right? It's not a you have to take the second roll.
Did you sleep on the way here, or were you studying on the way here?
Slept.
Okay.
I studied before we left.
Mm-hmm.
Slept on the ride here.
Mm-hmm. And you've done the rolls for the studying
Just
while
now.
you're in Gervaloo.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah. So this is
That's how
for
I
the
got
studying since
4.5.
you've got here. Cool. Yeah.
Progress is slow. She's having a hard time focusing. That's okay.
I'd say I'd go round it up to the 5.
All right, now I'm at
At this
5.
point.
And you said a performance check?
Yes, this is less about the success of the healing, because that's fine. It's more people's visual perception.
24.
Okay. Has an impact. A palpable impact, do you think?
Yeah, her healing is not the cool water of Brayla. It's like, well, it's the same effect, like being held up in a hug kind of thing, but it's warm. It's wrapped up in a blanket on a cold day kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's fresh out of the dryer.
As you're walking around as well, Ruby, you get a really strong smell. Onions. You smell onions.
The Onion Knight.
In a camp full of French, I'm shocked.
And you actually see, you see where it's coming from. You see, you see a green and sort of pale white patterned tent, and a standard out the front. The standard in front of it is an onion crossed by 2 leeks.
Okay. The Onion Knight.
And as you walk past, a very familiar figure holding firewood starts tending to a cook fire. He's not armored, but he looks at you and waves, and you see the visage of the Onion Knight, just with some other men about as well.
Go say hi.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the as you remember, the Onion Knight is or was dead when you first saw him.
He got better.
He did get better, and he gave your party a shot. And he looks at you. Ruby. It has been so long. How are your journeys? Would you like some soup?
Sure. Thank you.
I've
not eaten today.
It is the best French onion soup you've probably had, outside of one that you might have made.
I'm probably better, because Ruby does not have a French onion soup in her recipe book, which she no longer has.
No.
So try to do one later.
It is an excellent, very hearty meal. It gives you 15 temporary hit points.
Jesus. How have you been? And you look much better than the last time I saw you. You know, not dead.
Completing my oath and passing on my good deeds to you has left me with a world of wonder. And it was kind of funny, though. Everywhere I went, people started crowding me. And so Meet my knights. And you see, like, there's a good 16, 17, like, green-clad knights.
Yeah.
They are the hedgiest hedge knights ever. They are, like, rusted armor. Like, you're pretty sure one of them's, like, coif is a padded sack. Like, it is, like, they are in the most slapdash armor ever. But their morale is so high. Like, their weapon of compliments is like, it's bill hooks. It's like, that was probably a farming scythe at one point. Like, it is, this guy has made knights out of farmers.
Are you going with us?
I will not be. There are powers that be that prevent me from going, but my truest paladins will be joining you.
Look to all of them again. With your blessing, I think they'll do extraordinarily well.
Absolutely, they will. I have every layer of expectation.
Thank you. She looks tired. It's. Thank you. I have to get back to studying, but
Well,
I appreciate.
it was very good to see you. It was good luck to you too.
She'll get up and get going. Go back to healing people.
Okay. Eventually, whether it is just 1 or 2 glasses of wine or a Anrayne keg deep, or just the moments where sleep decides that, okay, it's time. You'll make way back to the tent that was assigned to you and get a full night's rest, which I will give you in game. You're not sure what time it is by the time you wake up, but you all do feel revitalized. Ooh, they've updated the rest menu.
Oh, I don't have my temporary HP anymore. Yeah, it was really cool to have. And it's gone.
How many more days do you have of half-cast spells?
I think that was my last day.
I think it's done now.
Yep.
We'd have to do another ritual.
It wasn't a ritual, it was your wand.
It was a random effect from your wand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, if that was a ritual you all could get, I think all 3 of us could get behind, like, let's just go with that. Because half-cast for all of us, we're all... Even Valymr and I, like, we're half-casters. We'd love to half-cast our spells. Actually, I don't know if it would work for Valmyr's Warlock spell slots, but he's got Paladin spells. That'd be a thing.
Well, theoretically, I guess I can look at the Warweave one and do the roulette, but...
The roulette of 10,000 options.
1,000 according to you, but yes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah. 1,000 options.
Well, let's not do quick math here, because if we do, I'm going to try and game it a little bit.
No, it is 10,000 options because it's a D10 first.
Oh.
And each of those has, yeah.
And not all of them are beneficial.
Yeah. The last thing you want to get is the opposite option, where all your spells cost twice the spot at the same level. That would be rough.
Eldritch Blast, level 1 spell.
Yeah. Well, technically, double 0 is still 0, but...
Yeah, true, but...
Math.
Honestly, the level of like damage I can put out with an Eldritch Blast nowadays kind of deserves to be a level something spell.
It is no longer... Cantrip progression does invalidate lower-level spells. That is, in fact, a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby is going to be spending the morning getting her gear ready and doing her morning workout by flying around and with her wings out.
Sure. What ritual are you guys taking today? It's going to be quite an important discussion.
Is the plan, guys, to actually go through the portal today, or is the plan that we are just finishing getting ready today?
No, portal today, I think.
So if we're going through the portal today, there's a couple options. Mother Wild Splendor has been fantastic. It has not steered us wrong before, and having that D12 is huge. But not a lot of plants that we can probably use in the Abyss to use the transport via plants.
Didn't we camp out on a massive fuck-off tree, or was that a big bone?
It was a big
I
bone.
believe it was it was bones.
Is there any, like, blood trees?
You didn't see it. It was steppe, mostly. That first layer.
Yeah.
Steppe and hills.
Gambling on that being there. Like those 3D 1D12s, I love them. You guys love them. I know we do. But this might be a time to say, to call back on the Ritual of Ayer's Strength, or maybe, depending on what items we want to take with us, take the Ritual of Attune's Knowledge and get that 4th attunement slot.
Honestly, I was thinking Hero's Aid, but
You want the Hero's Feast. Mm-hmm.
the immune to poison and fear against demons and undead.
You're already immune to fear if you're next to us, right?
Immune to fear, yes. Not immune to poison.
I can't resist poison for shit.
The fear and diseases, yeah, that doesn't affect Valymr and I, but the immune to poison does make a valid point.
Blood, diseases, those seem like things we're going to have to deal with. Midge, question. It says when you take the ritual, you are cured of all disease and poison. Does that make you immune from them for the rest of the day, or is that just at that moment you're cured of them all?
If you had them, you'd be cured.
Okay, so what about going to the future with them?
Can I get a future disease?
Yeah, because it says you are cured of all diseases and poisons. You are become immune to poison and being frightened. You are not immune to disease.
Yes. Because remember, these don't have to be taken at the start of the day. You guys can do these later. It's just, it's been the most efficient.
Yeah. It's also a thing where we're going to be traveling for a few days in the Abyss, so we can also switch over to other rituals if those would be more appropriate. This is something I'm trying to remember. When we were first coming through when we first came here and we were dealing with the insect swarms, did they inflict poison, or did this go drain blood and that was necrotic damage?
No one was actually fully affected by the affliction of those creatures.
So you don't know.
No.
I feel like we have to make a saving throw against it, and we
Yes,
just
you
passed
did.
the saving throw.
Yes, you did.
Was
That's
it a
fair.
con save?
Yes, it was.
Well, if that's the case, all three of us are pretty damn good at con saves.
I am expertised in it, basically.
I think Hero's Aid is a call. I think Ayer's Strength or Attune's Knowledge is also a good call, especially since we are going to be getting into combat, presumably.
Do we want a +1 to attack rolls and stuff? Yeah, it gives +1 to saves as well, which might
+1
be...
to attack rolls, spell
Yeah,
save,
Ayer's knowledge goes a long way for me too.
attack rolls, saving throws, spell save DCs. You also make all strength and dexterity saving throws with advantage. And when you consume it, you can also gain, Protein Shake Extreme for Fire Giant Strength, or Super Extreme for Storm Giant Strength.
Yay, that'll go really well for Ruby.
You've
Listen,
consumed
sometimes-
it once.
Listen, sometimes when you get somewhere, you just need to decide,
I'm gonna punch
what if we
this
just
motherfucker
jumped
out.
over the wall?
I can fly!
Yeah!
If a,
but
if
the other
a, if
two of
a
us might
burning
jump
log
off the wall.
falls on you need to lift it.
Some days you just want to Hulk out and go She-Hulk. I get it.
Yeah, I'm kind of fine with anything. I think
Ayer's knowledge is
When
fine
I-
if we're going to be into combat.
Air strength. Yeah.
Ayer's Strength.
Ayer's.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
Ayer's Strength because Attune's Knowledge is another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because let me have a look at my attunementness.
Do we all have to take the same one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is one of the restrictions, is we have to use the same one.
And it is not limited to you three, as remember. It's up to 10 creatures.
Yeah, so we can grant this boon. Breton's gonna make a point for his the new bros from the Squires of Tranquility. He's gonna ask that they get some of this love, because he promised his boys are coming home alive.
Oh, okay.
I'm
We
gonna
need to get
bring
Brienne
in the
Haveray.
Haveray. Yeah, the Haverayans are gonna get a
That's
little
too
bit
many
as
now.
well.
But yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Haveray
not
have
all of the
extra
Haverayans.
hmm There's also Elwyn.
Hint, hint.
Elwyn obviously getting it.
So-
Is the High King coming through with us, or is he
No.
maintaining the
No.
position here?
Is maintaining the
Then
position.
obviously, I think giving it to him is a bit egregious. Are there any notable leaders and knights who are coming with us who we would probably want to prioritize? Like, is Basson coming with us?
Basson will be coming with you because he's basically part of Elwyn's order. If you inquire a bit more, and it's a contingent of Elwyn's secret knights order that have set up as scouts ahead.
Sure. So I'd like to be, I'd like Hamo and Ferdinand, just because that's my personal choice.
Mhm.
Obviously, you've got your picks from the Havarayan Knights.
Yeah, I got two
Valymr.
there. Theodora and Vasil.
Elwyn and Basson are also still a good choice for that. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We got one
three
more.
of us. So we got one more person.
Yeah.
Is the Onion Knight coming?
No, the Onion Knight's not, but some
No.
of his people are coming.
They're peasants. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
one of
if
the
the
peasants
peasants-
gets
they
it and
might need
immediately
it.
activates the boon. He's like, I'm the strongest fucker here! A minute passes. Oh.
We would for 1 minute become Chad Guardsmen.
Yeah.
would
I
you?
think with that style, more like Leroy Jenkins.
Would someone like to give me? So is someone going to spend their morning trying to find a candidate? Find me a worthy candidate.
I mean,
Sure,
Breton is
why
doing
not?
the rounds to see if here who might be the figures of note. So I'm happy to make a perception check to see if we can pick up on some of that.
Sure.
Perception. That is a 19 for a
works.
27.
Yep.
Guys, it feels
That makes
good
us-
to have a proficiency bonus of +6. It feels real good.
You
That's the only character I've ever had.
you come across a making the rounds. You come across a single knight's tent. They have their symbol is a shield. It's a simple shield, embossed with a magpie. Their like colors are like mix of deep blacks and grays, and you see it's one of those things of the thing that stands out to you, Breton, is a lot of the night, and as you don't recognize that symbol at all, but they're stationed in a section where there's a lot of knights from Sholtez around, and you see this female knight, like she's sat whittling something, but every time a knight from like the area around, from like the Sholtez groups of people, they all either nod, pat her on the back, shake her hand. She clearly kind of wants to be left alone, but everyone's like giving gratitude towards her.
Well, fuck, now I'm torn because Breton sees that she wants to be left alone, but now Breton's like, alright, I want to know who this individual is. I want to go up and talk to him, which by definition is the thing that she doesn't want to happen. What do you do in this situation?
Call Ruby because she has no social capacity to stop being untactful.
No, I think the capacity is Breton just approaches and tries to minimize how long he distracts her.
it's one of those things of she's not turning people away. It's not like she's going, please leave me alone. It's a case of, yes, another person. Good. Yeah, no. Awesome. Lovely to meet you. And that's kind of the exact,
because you're so famous, it's a chore.
But it's fine, Breton. You're not like these other guys.
But
I mean, to be fair, Breton's been doing his spiel. Apparently, he's becoming quite famous too. But at least he's not having to deal with that yet. That would drive me as a person nuts. I don't know how Breton would feel about it.
But yeah, she comes over and she like clocks you. She's got like deep black hair with like almost like dyed white fringe, like a dyed white fringe that is like tying through, almost like mimicking the feathers of the magpie.
Oh yeah. Breton will just approach and say, so I have to say, in the brief time I've been walking through here, it seems like there's not a single person who can walk by without saying hello, so, to whom am I addressing?
My name is my name is Rosalinda. I am a lady of the fated feathers.
Sense notes. Can I make a history check if I could
Sure.
call out information about that? Lady of the Faded Feathers. That's 18.
The Fated Feathers are a all-female holy order from Schultes, who venerate a previous like living saint. Their like leading saint is someone who basically, the story goes, she it was during the crusade, the holy war, the great holy wars in the Vestinian theocracy. She used to deliver news of what was happening and letters home, etc., by befriending a lot of the local birds, both in the Nardathel and in the Vestinian theocracy. Basically trained birds to send messages and would often bring good tidings or desperately needed news to others. In the same regard, the knights of this order, there are very few, like normally one per army, if that. Their whole thing was, one, they keep a book of pretty much every order's last rites, and they are, at least in Schultes, and they are experienced at like either both like protecting bodies, sharing the news of the fallen, making sure that people like kind of aren't forgotten. And it's also customary to kind of keep a shiny piece of silver, like a silver piece, for knights from Schultes on their person that they're meant to keep as like a final donation to this order, to make sure that like their name isn't lost in a battle, if that makes sense.
So, okay, these are the, I'm drawing a blank on the terminology. Sorry, I was gonna reference 40K here, in the combination, because like it's like a combination of their chaplains and their
as in the people that pick up the gene seed.
Yeah, pick up the gene seed, like the mix of the chaplains and the apothecaries. Yeah, they basically keep track of all their. They know both all of the customs and the last rites of the people, but also the individuals who take care of them once they've died.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's okay.
It's an easy word for me to remember because the word for pharmacy is apotek here.
Oh, what, in Finland?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Sure. I am glad to see that someone who is so capable and prestigious has found their way into our cause. Will you also be going through the portal into the bush?
Yes, of course. It is, I must follow where the men and women will fall, otherwise... How will their loved ones know? If everything goes wrong, I have my orders and my mission. I will not fail.
I understand. Before we set out, there's going to be a ritual performed for some individuals who are making their way through the portal. If you wouldn't mind joining us, I'd like to include you in it.
I would be honored. Thank you for thinking of me.
Sorry, proper introductions. Your name is Rosalinda. I am Sir Breton Montilier.
She thinks. I know not of what order you might belong to. Should things fall ill, what customs do you follow?
I'm afraid it's something I've never given much thought to. I do not belong to an order.
What about from where you live, from your home? Is there a tradition?
He kind of crosses his arms, thinks about it for a moment. Back in Gellenfloss, typically there would be... Actually, what traditions would you have in Gellenfloss? It's on top of a mountain, so building a pyre for it would be illogical. Not a lot of trees up on the Gellenfloss, I imagine, if it's on top of a mountain.
Rhiannon tradition is actually quite a lot. All across the Rhiannon, in most parts, is burial. And in like burial mounds. Gellenfloss is a little different. Because they don't do the mounds, because you can't really build a mound on a mountain. But it's still basically they have like catacombs or that they build. There's like under the church there is like they just mine into the bedrock essentially of the mountain. And
good fucking luck getting Breton out of hell. Like guy's 7.5 feet tall, probably weighs about like 450 pounds. It's like carrying a marble slab out of there. You're gonna need a whole 5-team moving crew. I think Breton thinks about it for a moment, and he thinks about, because there was a time where he was considering forming his own order. I think he will just tell her, burn my body, spread my ashes at my homeland. I was born in a Gellenfloss. Gellenfoss.
You are Rhiannon, but you wear the dignity of a knight of Narville.
I was born in the Rhiannon, but when I came of age, my father sent me to serve under House Sunderstar.
She thinks for a moment. You spend most of your time in Othray, then?
I believe so, yes.
Fair enough. Well, I will make a note of it.
You still think it's not required?
I hope every day that none of my knowledge is required, but I go with comfort knowing that I have it. Also, you get the impression that she, just from like, you look briefly at her like tent and her equipment, etc. She has like a shield. She wears mix of plate and chain. You would, if you had to assign her, that you would say she's actually more of a cleric than a paladin.
I figured actually. Battle clerics to be a thing.
Yeah, there's a lot, like, she, like, has a reliquary with her, like, she has what looks to be, like, an apothecary satchel. Like, she seems trained in battlefield medicine. Like, there's also a surgical kit as well.
Fair enough. Either way. Truth be told, I don't plan on dying at least till tomorrow.
That's funny. I like that.
I've gotten a lot of mileage out of that joke so far, yes.
I'm gonna have to start using it.
Just hoping we can all start living by it. Breton will just nod, and he will return towards the others and mention that name as another name to give to the ritual.
Sure. Okay. So, you return and you gather for the ritual.
You know what, you guys, you've convinced me, Beth. Protection from poison and an extra 4d10 hit points. If we're trying to keep these people alive, that might actually be the best call. Like, there's a fair few paladins here, and obviously the two of us are immune to fear, but spreading that out amongst the, like, if the leaders being immune to fear especially, like, that might go a long way in keeping morale up.
Sure.
Also, the boon consumption on Hero's Aid is a pretty neat combo.
Basically just give 10 people a self-destruct button.
It's not even a self-destruct button. Like, Sunburst is good damage, but Holy Aura is also.
I was making the reference. Obviously, no one is getting hurt by it, but it is, actually, Beth, you'll appreciate this reference. It's Vegeta after he fights Majin Buu.
I know.
Yeah.
Because remember, with Holy Order, in addition, when a fiend or undead it hits the affected creatures in Holy Aura, they flash with brilliant light, and the attacker must succeed a Constitution saving throw or be blinded.
So I'm putting my vote on the Hero's Aid at this point.
Sure.
Okay.
No problem with that.
Okay.
All right, Hero's Aid it is.
I'm glad reason wins out in the end.
And just
I think all were reasonable.
That's
yeah,
true.
like all of them are good. Like, we're not making any bad decisions here. Let's do a quick check of all the names. We've got Breton, Ruby, Valymr, Hamo,
Look at that on your camera.
Ferdinand. What were the Havarrian soldiers you wanted, Valymr?
It is Vasil and Lady Theodora.
Vasil and Theo.
Yeah, you meet Lady Theodora at this meeting. It's just like, it is someone who gives Breton a height rivalry.
Nice.
It is. She is a clean 7 foot, very like almost grey paled skin lady, completely shaved head, and built like a slab of marble. Actually, to use the description Breton just used, she is her canine teeth are a little bit longer than normal, maybe, and her eyes are red, but other than that, she's a very jovial individual.
So the experience there is when I was in elementary school, I was already 5'8". I was tall for a kid.
Wow, you.
I stopped, but I hit 5'9". I stopped growing. I
Okay.
just stopped growing by the time I got into middle school. And there was one kid in my elementary school who was 6 foot tall. I was the second tallest kid in school. He was already that fucking tall.
Wow.
So that's this experience. It's like you're really tall, but you meet somebody who, like, imagine again, Beth, you're really tall. Imagine meeting somebody who's taller than you, like 3, 4, or 5 inches taller than you are.
There was a girl on the ship.
Yeah, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, what are the odds?
She was 6'7".
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was also gorgeous.
I imagine.
She was honor guard for the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier for a while.
Hell yeah. All right.
I mean, I was 5'2" for the longest time, and I got to like 16, and I hit 5'11". It's like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you my puberty story. It's a wild one.
So we have the 10 of us are Breton, Ruby, Valymr, Hemo, Ferdinand, Vasil, Theo, Basan, Elwyn, and Rosalinda is the
Yep.
10 for the ritual.
okay.
Just making sure we didn't miss out on one or have too many.
Yeah.
That's a problem later on.
Do you want to write them out into live chat as well, so I know?
Sure. I didn't write. Yeah, we have a.
But just put them in our general chat. And as you all sit down for the Hero's Aid is it's probably one of the least grandiose of the rituals. The food that gets created for it is very simple food. It's like warm, hearty breads, thick porridges, good, clean water, and the water is actually that kind of blue petaled nectar, nectar of the gods.
Ambrosia, right?
Yeah, it's like the ambrosia. But
The
yeah,
drink of the king that never was.
exactly. But it's very cleansing. But with that, we are at our midpoint pretty much. So I'm going to take the midpoint break here, and then we will begin our descent into the abyss once more after this midpoint break. So see you guys in 10 minutes. We'll be back soon.
Hey, come here a minute. Do you need royalty-free music for your TTRPG content, whether that be a YouTube video, stream, TikTok, Instagram post? Don't worry, we've got you covered. My name's Alex. I've been a content creator for almost a decade now, and I've teamed up with my good friend Harry to produce 10 royalty-free songs for you to use in your content completely for free. We've tried to make a whole range of motifs with this album, covering happy music to sad music, to mystery music to combat music. And if this takes off, you know what? We might even make some more. So give the Elendor Chronicles soundtrack Volume 1 a shot. It's free to stream everywhere, and if you want the high quality downloads, you can come over to our Patreon and download them, or you can contact me directly at tabletop@themidgemansworld.co.uk as a creator, and I'll just give it to you for free. That's it, there's no catch, and just to prove it, we've also given you guys a user license agreement to prove that you have the complete perpetual rights to use this content. So enjoy, and good luck on your next adventure. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighbouring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Dre Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope. From the brain that's rattled and riddled with madness, a radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can dutifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get an extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click, an emotion so small that it could endlessly amount to possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. support the component cast.
So, Valymr, Lambert, how dead are you now? I'm going to let you have a moment of trying to deal with...
I'm
those of you
dealing
who have
with
been-
some fucking trauma.
Yeah,
right now.
So those of you who have been here for a while, you'll know that about this time of year, the pestilence attacks Valymr, and he's very allergic to it, which is kind of apt for him to about to be going through a portal full of mosquitoes. So, I think you've just got the vibe down.
The timing could not be I hate it, but like shit, the timing's exquisite.
Yeah, exactly.
Real calls coming from inside the house.
As I understand it, mosquitoes are basically the national bird of Finland.
Look, other than Canada, Finland has the most lakes, and I guess by, percentage of land area, like it's probably higher for Finland. It's
Florida.
It's like 11,000 lakes or something stupid like that.
Anyway.
It has a lake that is shaped like Finland, that has an island in the center of it that is also shaped like Finland.
Yeah, that is true.
As
That is there.
As the ritual completes, you hear the mustering of troops outside. The knights falling into formations, kind of down to which country they come from, mostly. It's kind of, they group into essentially 6 formations of 100 men and women. The Royal Guard take up the minor battlements that have been formed from the palisade. And this column of people is prepared. 10 wide lines in full formation. Everything they need being carried on carts between the group formations. It's not quite as accurate as 100, because obviously you got people with carts, people pulling oxen, people ready to maneuver, but it's a veritable group.
I really want to unfurl a Sunderstar banner. I don't think I have one, but I want one.
You don't. But
I
Elwyn,
don't remember what the Kensek banner looks like.
Elwyn takes his place at the head of the column, very briefly standing on the stump of a fallen tree. It's probably where the farmer that used to own this area used to chop wood. It looks like odd, but he stands up. And he speaks in Fionian, so... Valymr, sorry.
Ruby will translate for him.
Look, if you can write it down, that'd be great.
I can't write that fast.
Lords, ladies, sirs, soldiers, men and women of our fair plains. We all picked our oaths. We all swore ourselves to forces greater than us. Today, those forces are but a grain in an hourglass. The world, as we know and love, is corrupting at our very fingertips. This, and he swings his sword towards up the portal. On the other side of this is the beginning of a new day. What we do here, the ground we make, the choices we overcome, will set about the turning of the wheel and clear up this mess for good. I cannot promise any of us will return, but our sacrifice will make sure that every man, woman, and child of Nardathel sees another day. And he just takes a moment, steps down, and then shouts, "Forward! and the columns begin to move, stepping ever closer towards the portal.
Can I have a mini retcon?
Sure.
Just can I have done the thing to get my steed last night?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I was going to say the same thing. Solvaril is called in, and Breton is riding through Solvaril through to the other side.
Yep. Are you?
Yeah. I will also have blown upon the horn of the Glade Guardians.
Remember the effects of that, though.
That lasts for an hour, and you can do it like once a week.
Yeah.
Oh, I know they can do it once a week. It doesn't say anything here about an hour, though. It also has a spelling mistake on again, so I think it was just copy and pasted without that in, maybe?
It works the same as a Horn of Valhalla. So...
Okay.
That means a lot to me.
I think I've gotten that wrong before, too. I think they only last for 1 hour.
Yep.
Okay, I was not aware of that.
So the creatures return to the glade after 1 hour, or when they drop to 0 hit points.
Okay, I wasn't aware of the hour thing, because that's not mentioned in here.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Interesting.
So yeah, Breton's going to ride through on Solvaril. I imagine Ruby's flying through, because why wouldn't she?
Mm-hmm. You're muted.
Muted.
Yes, her wings will magnificently unfurl.
Breton doesn't have a banner either, but he does have the Blade of Equilibrium, and he's pointing it towards the portal as he flies through.
Sure.
Because this is going to be a hallmark on a book someday. God darn it! This image of these soldiers marching through.
Weather was here. Wish you were beautiful.
Yeah. I would say, considering you're flying, you're probably the first to breach the portal, Breton.
Checks out. We didn't really ask if there were any other mounted knights or griffin knights that were coming with us, or did we?
You checked, and basically, for the most part, the paladins have chosen to go, like, the whole column is mostly going on foot, mainly because of the plane itself is really good for horse, this first one. Nobody knows what it's like on the other side. And you know that you're going to do a siege. Cavalry is not what you want on a siege.
Sure, that's fair.
For the most part.
Well, it is a tradition in both Rian and Arthur, I remember, that griffin knights are a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Aerial units in a siege might be a lot more useful. This was my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Right off.
It's one of those things that a few of them, they have the ability to find their steed if they need it.
Sure. Okay. I was just curious if you'd seen anything so far.
No, but the column seems to be moving together on foot. Because there is a mix of people who are essentially bannermen and, like, kind of, like, better footmen all the way up to paladins. You would see, like, if I was to give you definite numbers, out of the 600 men, the people that... There could be about 20 that could muster a flying mount.
Damn, sure. There are some notable paladins in these groups.
Yeah, oh yeah. There is... You didn't have really enough time to get a full glimpse of the army, like, but there's some notable orders here.
All right. I know we're going to. I keep saying we're going to hell, but we're not going to hell. We're going to the abyss. But on a weird way, I'm kind of looking forward to it.
But you breach the portal, and it's familiar. The fog, the haze of this open steppe on this hill, where you just see and hear the buzzing. You can just about see the ground below you as you turn Silveril and see Elwyn, Ruby, Valymr breach through, and then the first line of troops. Give me a perception check, though, Brent.
Perception. $26.
You begin to try and map through the fog, your eyes adjusting. You notice that the storms of locust / mosquito-like creatures haven't left a very big path ahead. The column already is too wide to sneak through without hitting it. At least on this hill. How would you like to proceed?
How do we want to proceed, guys? I mean,
Let the assembled masses come through. Clear the staging ground.
Breton's not pushing off on his own. He's gonna basically cycle around where the portal is and just keep an eye out, making sure nothing's waiting to hit them the moment they come through when they're not expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We all know
I got
that
the Spelllock out, scanning.
the most vulnerable point of any attack is the moment that you land.
Mm-hmm. The main thing here that seems to be the issue is the swarms. They're not the large ones, it's those tiny ones. Where it's million strong like insect clouds. And the biggest problem you see right now is maneuvering an army through them safely.
How big are the swarms themselves, give or take? I imagine they have varying size as well, but just out of curiosity.
Huge. Like the gaps, sometimes you can get a gap that's a building big, sometimes you can get it like a footpath wide. But the swarms themselves are clouds, like physical. It's like a cloud layer. And you remember that they tend to like group around these mountains and hills, and once you get down the hills, it gets a lot clearer. The step becomes a lot more flat, and these bugs don't seem to nest or swarm there.
Alright, give me a minute. When we crashed, it reset all my spells I had prepared.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
Going through and trying to figure out like what would be useful to.
And I say we all use the shard of possibility as well.
Yes.
Yes, that is a note that I wanted to make forward.
How many people can use that?
Let me check. There isn't a limit to how many creatures, but it takes time.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I say that as I'll be at the head of the next to the portal, and as everyone goes through and is like, please stand here. Okay, next.
They need to hold it for a minute.
Fuck that. Never mind. How about just the 10 that we have the ritual done on then?
During the ritual, the 10 could have had time with it because we had plenty of time to get all that done.
Absolutely.
All right. We didn't try and clear the swarms out when we came here before. There was no effort to
we
try
snuck
and do
through.
that. But that may not be something that we want to try and do this time. God damn it, this is not the first time that I've been like, I wish I was a cleric with spirit guardians. That'd make this a heck of a lot easier. If only
No,
Zedaar
but you
was
do
here.
have a sorcerer with fire shield, which is basically the same thing.
You just go in there as a bug zapper.
I've also got 0 AoE, other than I can cast fear. I don't know if these mosquitoes are.
But
Knowing real
I'm trying to
mosquitoes,
avoid
they have
these-
no fear. Yeah,
Well, this
and
is
it
day
also-
1 of a 3-day march.
That's true. Well, I can always be a mobile bug zapper. I've got wings. I can fly around and, torch some little mosquito people.
I'm gonna say Breton will gather up with Ruby and Valymr since we realize it's like it might just be in our best interest to go in there and start clearing out these swarms so they have a clear path to move through. It's gonna save us a lot of fatalities in the long run. At the very least, a lot of being harried by these creatures.
For context, to move through the current cloud, you could try to wait it out, but to maneuver through the current cloud and you would essentially the entire 600-man contingent would need to move at like 2 wide. Max.
How big's the cloud?
It's multiple clouds.
It's
not just
multiple.
one.
It's like it is. When I say cloud, I mean it's like cloud cover.
Yeah.
I have no way of fighting I can do nothing again. I have literally 0
To
ability
give you
to
a
fight.
visual representation, it's like a plane breaching cloud cover.
No, I got that. I'm just trying to figure if a spell would work on it or not, because we have 3 days.
Whatever we want to do, we're gonna have to take care of it before they get here.
I can take care of one of the clouds pretty easily. Multiple if you give me some time with my wand.
And I'm willing to test some resources I haven't used just to see if engaging it would even be worthwhile.
Well, let me see if this works, and if it doesn't, well, it probably will, but, I haven't used this spell yet, and I've been kind of itching to try it. Where's the biggest cloud, Midge? The biggest section of the cloud?
It depends on where you're trying to go, what you're like. This
Direct
is
path.
this is an environmental hazard, of which is very hard to see through. The direct path has about a 2-wide gap between some of these swarms, where like only 1 or 2 of the mosquitoes will be able to get near people. It's like enough that they can swat it in time. But any further off the beaten path, they're gonna be getting devoured. So
Yeah, I feel that.
What if we made an effort to engage it on either side? Do we think we could pull them away? Open the line?
If you guys can have things that you can, stay safe from these things and, maybe kill a few while they attempt to bite you, I'll drive people down through the middle if you can draw them away. Like I say, I've got literally nothing that can do anything with these guys.
from your
I
own
can-
memory of passing through this section as well, it took you 3 hours-ish to get down far enough that these bugs weren't a problem.
So I can sunbeam repeatedly, and that can clear out pretty large chunks of them. I can throw out Darkstar, which will clear out an enormous area.
3 hours, though. Like, 3 hours is a long march.
Extend spell puts it at... Sunbeam I think is 10 minutes, or a minute, isn't it? Sunbeam, let me double check. I thought it was longer than that. Come here, you.
It's 1 minute, and then extend would take it to 10. I
Yeah.
think.
For a 6th level
You can
spell,
make
I could...
it-
Or I could use my wand of fireballs, just go boom, boom, boom.
You can turn yourself into a attractive bug zapper. Then
Yeah, fire shield seems like the better variant, and just to fly around and do circles, and just
because as well, like they're not gonna like if you have. If the swarm notices you, they're gonna move towards you. is what I'm thinking. So if we can move these clouds away from a central path, so we can get the army down through.
What we need is a druid with gust of wind.
Which is a good point. Do we know if they're attracted to light? Like, could we just, like, drop torches at points to see if we can, like, draw the swarms away from the path that they're going on? Because that'd be a lot more resource effective and a lot less dangerous.
I just think
You know
fire
what?
shield me flying around.
Breton will. Do any of us have any torches at all?
Why would I need them anymore?
Right. Okay. Good adventurous. Presumably there is a.
I do. I have one torch.
Well, I'll say, presumably, most of the individuals coming through are humans. We're in a dark place. Most of them have some form of light. That would include torches. You'd have torch bearers. Breton is going to, if you want to just give me the first one, Valymr, Breton's going to test this. He's just going to sail out over the marshes. He's going to move a couple 100 feet off of the marching line, and he's just going to light a torch and toss it down into the swarm to see how they react to it.
Okay. Make a ranged attack roll, please.
A ranged attack roll.
Yeah.
For dropping a torch. All right.
Are you trying to drop it or are you throwing it?
Well, he's just flying overhead and just dropping it down.
Okay, so you're gonna try and go up and over. Okay. As you fly up, you take in some extra note. Like this cloud, where you currently are is particularly thick. And it does ease up a little bit on the march. There's still going to be hazards that you have to try and avoid, but you can do some serious work if you can find a way to open the gap a bit more. But if you're just dropping, you just drop it in. And you feel like, as well, you have to go about 90 feet up before you can get over it.
Yeah. Sure. Jeez. Yep.
And it's so much so that the cloud of bugs, because like I said, it's almost like looking into fog from where you are. You couldn't see like 30 feet in front of you because it was just buzzing, irritating swarm. And you drop it in, and you just see the torch kind of go into them, and then you lose sight of it. And then you do see a little bit of a gap form around it. The rest of you on the ground see just eventually when the torch hits the ground, it sort of light up a little bit down the bottom, and there is a bit of a clarity to the fog.
They want to avoid fire.
Yeah, if they expand around fire, that means they're getting away from it, which means, all right, pass that
everyone
down the
carry a torch.
Yeah, edges of the pushing line, torches out. Try and even if we can spearhead this, just divide it and keep them abridged on either side. Try and minimize the contact that we can make with it.
Yeah. I'll
let Ruby go in front too. Fire shield up.
Yeah, with fire shield up. I'm also going to give you the gem of brightness to see if light also helps.
Put that in the middle.
I suppose that works too.
I still think testing it is a good idea. We don't want to test this. We don't want to field test this. That's going to get people killed. Breton will lie down with it and see if it drives them away or pulls them closer. Because if we learn that fire bad, light good, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So Breton will take a gem of brightness. He'll utter the command word to cause it to emit 30 feet of bright light, which I can't remember what that is because that was a Darius thing so long ago.
I have the notes. I will be able to tell you when I remember.
Actually, I'm not sure if Brett ever saw Darius use these gems.
Oh, you definitely did. You definitely did.
He used it in damn near every fight we had. I assume as much.
I know Darius was quite prolific at using them, and Roach loved them. She was adamant about these gems.
They do not seem affected by light. It seems the physical damage to them is what.
So Breton comes
I
back
can
like
make
a minute
fire
later.
shield.
It's fire.
I can make fire shield last on me for an hour, so I can woof that and walk in front. Clear the path.
I'm gonna pass the word along down the line. Just do what you can. And Breton will sail down, basically calling out, torches out, torches on the outside.
If I concentrate on Searing Smite, can I make the end of my glaive like burn? Even if I'm just like not making an attack, it'd just be like
It would consume the spell after a round.
Oh, is it only for you can only hold it for a round?
You can only hold a spell for a round, right?
No, Spearing Strike.
Says the next time you hit a creature.
Oh wait, yeah. So
unless you're counting one bug touching it.
Yeah. That's the issue that you're running to.
The bug zapper gets shorted by one bug.
Essentially. that one mosquito had a really fucking bad existence though. Okay.
I'm trying to make my just put on fire.
So Ruby, for the next hour, you physically
Did you
can't.
say you got rid of a Chardalon Stride?
I still have it. No, wait, no. I did get rid of it. No,
Yeah.
I know. I got rid of Alganazar's Scorcher and kept a Chardalon Stride.
I mean,
At the same point, like, I can also fly and be a,
you can mix different spells is the point that I'm getting to.
I have the capability to kill bugs if I wanted to zip around quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I imagine...
Please describe a definitive way that you guys are maneuvering this army, because
Ruby is going to be doing circles around the army with Fire Shield and killing as she goes, just being the old DDT trucks that used to drive around, if anybody old enough to remember those in the States.
I do remember that, yeah.
We had trucks that drove...
scheduled days where they would actually come out and spray pesticides just in public and tell you don't go outside because we're spraying for mosquitoes. I do actually remember that, yeah.
Yeah, when my
Breton is Breton is flying around organizing troops, basically saying formulate torches on the outside, flames out, torches on the front, basically like creating a wall of fire where we can get it, where we can afford it, just to
Can we get you flying up and sort of I'll be at the head of this column looking up and trying to stay directly beneath you, so you can sort of like direct us into like the path of least resistance, like that you can, you're looking down, seeing, oh, this is a bit clearer here, go this way, and kind of like direct us from the air. Might be a vibe.
I can see a clearer path from above, sure. I'm willing to give that a shot too.
Okay.
So, Ruby is running anti-mosquito swarm. She's just literally flying into the densest parts to dissuade them from getting closer, running torches on the outside so that there's fire basically all along the exterior of the army.
Okay.
Valymr's taking point to lead where we're leading, and Breton is going to, upon giving out the order, is going to literally take lead and just guide Valymr to the best of his ability through the shallowest parts of the swarm.
Okay, Valymr, you're going to need to give me a survival check. You do have advantage on this, thanks to Basan.
Advantaged survival.
Breton, I need a perception check from you. And Ruby, how long are you bug zapping for? An hour?
I can do it for an hour. I could do it for indefinitely, pretty much all day, between using more spell slots. So, as long as we're traveling, I can have it up.
Breton is hitting those high notes. That's a 27.
I'm going to use a point of luck.
Okay.
Oh, perception check. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
No, yeah, Ruby, you're occupied zapping as much as you can. But there is which has lowered the overall DC of this challenge, but there is still a challenge here. So.
I feel like somebody also has to make the statement, Ruby, that only counts as one.
I'd kill more demons than anybody else. Get fucked!
Ruby, you are absolutely getting covered in bug juice.
Sarah?
I can cast Prestidigitation. I'm not worried about it.
It's like you're not getting injured, you're just covered in burnt insect remains.
Valymr.
Yeah.
You're doing your best. Your memory of this place is fleeting. Even Bassan is struggling because when he moved through here, it was 10 people. Like, when you moved through here, it was 3 people.
Yeah, it was 3 of us.
Like,
the numbers have gone exponential.
yeah, trying to maneuver this many men without them stepping into these bands of mosquitoes is difficult.
My steed is eating good tonight, though. Like, he's a lizard. They eat bugs.
Ruby, you're unaffected by the bugs. Breton, as you're flying above, you're mostly unaffected by the bugs. The army, however, is defended, but not supremely. So it's I'm going to give everyone that's in the army advantage on the Constitution saving throw, and the DC to survive it is lower. However,
everyone that's within 30 feet of me is getting a +6 or +5.
So I'm actually going to get you each. Well, Valymr, you're going to roll one for yourself. I'm going to cover the main characters as well, but I'm going to get you each to roll for a contingent. And we're going to do this by kingdom, essentially.
Okay.
So, Ruby, I'll get you to roll for Othray. And
What am I rolling? Just D20?
it's gonna so it'll be a D20 for the Constitution. But I'm gonna get you to roll for you can roll for Othray and Schultes.
These are at advantage.
Yes, these are at advantage. Breton, you can go for Lordelou and Glesby. Valymr, roll for yourself and Havaray.
All right. Even though it's at advantage, I got like 19 on that care for trying for 20. And they, so the people like within 30 feet of me get the +5.
Sure.
As well. But for Havaray,
that'll matter for some of the leaders.
Within 30 feet of you or within 10 feet of you? I don't think your aura is 30 feet. You're not a Legion Paladin.
Then I apologize. Within 10 feet of me.
Okay, I will say that will affect some of the selected characters.
18
Is that
for Havaray.
18 for Havaray? Okay.
Plus whatever's.
So you've rolled a 6. Is that for Othray or Schultes, Ruby?
Schultes.
Okay. Can you roll for
Sure it was. You definitely rolled Schultes first.
Can you roll for Othray now at advantage?
Okay, that's 19.
19. Okay. There is modifier to this.
And I was rolling for which 2 again, please? Remember me?
Lordeley and Glesby.
Lordeley first.
Okay.
We don't care about Schultes.
That's a 14 plus whatever their modifier is.
Mm-hmm.
And Glesby is a 16.
Okay. Valymr, word comes up the line. Some of the knights from Schultes got swarmed. Their physical form drained.
Damn. What?
It seems.
Have we been to Schultes before?
Yes.
Not really. It's the one that borders Othray. So
yeah, Ruby has.
So Ruby definitely has.
I would assume you've been everywhere.
I'm trying to think if you have. No.
Personally, this group has not been
But
there.
I don't think we spent any appreciable time there, no.
But the heir apparent was from Sholtes. To put it into perspective of who they are.
I don't think he's here, though, so I think we're
No,
good.
he's not.
We saved his life! Let's go to the abyss! No! No!
Rosalinda goes from the front of the column back to see how they are, and a couple of moments later you're actually given a proper medical almost analysis of their report. To put this into game terms of what this has done, their strength and constitution modifiers have been reduced.
Mm-hmm.
Those who have been
To
affected.
0.
Not to 0.
If they died.
But yeah, if
Okay.
they didn't, no one's died yet. Some aren't looking great. If they were caught in the swarm for longer or another time, there'll be significant casualties. But currently, they are just ailed with a obscure blood maledict.
Fair.
All right, then.
It's about this time you get it's an hour passes, and you get a good halfway, I will say, from your efforts. You've done well to clear things out. It made it but you're about halfway to the point in which these swarms don't matter anymore. Is there any change to your tactics, or are you just going to try and press on?
I think the tactics are fairly sound. Do we want to prioritize the Schelt section of the army just to ensure they don't suffer any further issues?
Yeah, put them in the center.
Recover.
Pop them in the center, and have them flanked by others.
Okay. Okay, so you want to integrate the people from Sholtes into like the other formations and like take them off of the sides, etc.
Yeah, take them as far from the flanks as possible so that they can basically be escorted to a safe region. To hopefully they'll be able to recover over the next couple of days. That's the hope.
Okay. None of the heroes that you've identified were afflicted.
I would hope so, with +5 and all that advantage. We didn't pick chumps.
Didn't pick no chumps. I mean, you picked 2 chumps in that group, really kind of.
I don't know. Ferdinand and Hamo are going to be heroes in this journey, let me tell you.
They may have started as chumps, but chumps they have not. They are going to be far more than.
They're blessed by Ayer or
They are
the other
now.
person.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to need the same set of rolls again, so it's going to be a survival from Valymr at advantage. Breton, I'm going to get a perception from you. And Ruby, you're going to be using another spell slot to... And the sorcery points to go with to extend it.
Better. 15.
Okay, yeah, good.
I'm going to use my once-a-day reroll from the luck.
Awesome.
I'm going to reroll that. 16.
Okay.
And Ruby uses a bug zapper.
Okay. The path is definitely lighter now. The issue that you're running into more not only is like the swarms aren't as big. They're still big, but like it's not continental drift. It's that's a few hundred million. The issue that you keep running into now is this. Obviously, it's not a straight hill down. You're getting to a point where it's that's a cliff before we hit the step. Oh, that's a bit craggy compared to the others. So there's a lot more maneuvering. I will say though, your actions thus far, again, it's a much lower DC to be able to survive. But now I'm going to need those constitutions. Valymr for the front of the army and for Haveray. Lord for Othray and Sholtes for you, Ruby, and Lord Elise and Gillespie for you, dear Breton.
As we.
That's a nat 20. And is
21.
it advantage as well for Haveray?
Yeah, they all get advantage because of your actions. So I'm guessing the bigger number is Othray. Again, Ruby.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Schelt gets a 10, Othray gets a 16.
Then that's actually fine because the other one is Sholtes is actually removed from this check because you've maneuvered them into a way that they're not
I'm going to use a second point of luck. Fucking hell. Yeah, 9 for
It's a
Have a ray.
4 for Lord of
I don't know that you could. I don't know that you as a player can use your luck on another group of people
Yeah.
because it's
You're not
their
Lord
roll,
of
not
Luck.
your roll. So take your luck point back.
Okay.
Lovely.
still a 9.
Mine didn't do so good this time around.
No, nor did mine.
And it's nothing down to tactics this time. Ruby is plowing through a swarm, and she's burning them. Fire. There's just all the bugs just. But while she's off dealing that way, Breton, you see it, and you see it just slightly too late. A devouring swarm of them just sweep across the full path of where the army is maneuvering. And they're just... And a good chunk, a good 300 men are just buffeted by these bugs.
Out of 600, 300 are buffeted?
Yeah. Because it's 3 sections of the army.
Jesus, somebody call Ruby and have her dimension door. Somebody call her.
Well, it's one of those things of Breton then shouts, Ruby, you hear it, and you intercept it before it can do too much, but there is weakness now in the forces. People start being afflicted by this. Havaray, however, seem to not be as afflicted by it. Their strength isn't sapped, only their constitution. Call it natural resistance. Oh no, sorry, other way around. Their constitution isn't sapped, only their strength.
Okay.
But
Fun fact, for older editions of D&D, Undead didn't have a constitution score.
But you see a break in the fog, so to speak, and the plane begins to flatten out, and you see in front of you now this virulent red steppe. The long grass up to a halfling's torso, or, halfway up your shins for most people, kind of around the ankle for Breton. This vast waving red steppe. The big horns of bone-like growth spiring out into the distance. You've gotten past the first trial. Once you get through the crowds, the army sort of reforms. They form up and take an assessment of casualties. All in all, about 150 individuals are weakened. How would you like to proceed? Keep marching?
Are we at the very least out of the danger zone?
Yes. You are now progressed towards flat plain. In fact, you see now the landmark of that destroyed Infernal Forge over on one of the Bone Growth Mountains.
What do we say the plan here is? Do we maneuver to a position where we're secure and we're not worried about the fog enveloping them again and tend to the sick, the wounded? If we don't treat this sooner, it's just going to get worse the longer we go.
Elwyn's rubbing his face. It might be better for us to keep pushing on and try and make camp a bit further into the journey. We're only a few hours in. To make camp so soon, we risk losing a day of progress.
No, we need to go. We cannot stop.
I was just suggesting camping. I was suggesting taking of 10 minutes to treat the wounded. We're
10 minutes.
Paladins are
yes.
abound in these orders. We can deal with the disease.
We can try. Yes. A short rest. Yes. An encampment and an infirmary. No.
So yeah, Breton, because we're paladins, and there's a little thing the paladins have. We have an ability called Lay on Hands. Lay on Hands is a fun little ability that we can cure poison and disease. And Breton's going to see. He's just going to approach an individual at random. He's not too hurried or worried about which individual specifically is taking on this affliction. He's just going to see if 5 points of his Lay on Hands, which can cure poison or disease, can fix this affliction that they've fallen to from these mosquitoes.
Sure. Lay on Hands seems to have no effect.
Okay. Well, there goes my idea. Alright. That doesn't work, then... there's only one thing that can fix that then to my figuration. That's not something we can do. So...
There...
Quick element.
You guys are talking as a group, a command group. One of the Havre men runs up to you. It's Valymr, you would have identified them as Valymr, you know them to be one of the youngest of the winged Osirarians. It's a man named Sorin. He wears slightly lighter armor than the rest, and he has a satchel at his side, and he's holding what seems to be like a little. He's like shaking a glass vial, and he's like inspecting it. He comes up to you. Noble sirs, my lady, I have a. The affliction that is hitting our affecting our men. It is something that seems that it will pass with good rest once the body kicks back into action in fighting it itself.
I mean, we're going to be resting before we reach this citadel, so I mean, we're not marching for 3 days straight with no rest. That's for sure. So that's good to know.
It is, whilst it is affecting the blood, it is actually of magical construct. I do not know if you have ever fought shadows in your life, in your adventures. It is much like...
We all have.
It's much like their drain.
Mm-hmm. And all that we can do is ensure that they're kept safe until they get better. All right.
Yeah, I have the resources to heal some of them, but not enough more than one, and I need it for,
No.
Not 150, no.
Luckily, with the way that you maneuvered the men and you shielded those already afflicted, it isn't going to slow your pace that much.
Imagine Ruby looks absolutely disgusting right now.
If for example, like, because the affliction range from like having 1 point of con and strength drained to 4 on certain people. Like, if the same people have been hit with 8, you're carrying those people. They're not wearing their armor anymore. Like, they are, suddenly a knight with a strength of 15 goes down to a strength of 7. He's like, whoa, that plate mail he's in is very heavy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So you did a good job in reorganizing.
Get people rested, triage those who need it. Let's get going.
Yeah. Okay, you continue. What's your current? I'm gonna say, what's your marching order for the columns? Like, how do you want to? Like, who of you guys is where? Who out of the
head of the column for me?
Who out the leaders is where? Like, do you want to tell certain characters that you've met to move to certain positions? And how are you moving? Like, at first you've been like a kind of an extended long column, 10 wide, mostly in formation with then breakages for like wagons, etc.
I imagine Ruby's probably towards the back and flying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overwatch.
What all factions were actually injured in this? Chaltez, Lordelys, my second one that I can't
Gillespie.
I've already forgotten. Gillespie.
And a
yeah.
bit of Haveray.
Basically, only Offray got off scot-free.
Crazy that happens.
Only Offray got off scot-free. Okay. So I think that means
Well,
we put
that
Offray
and-
on point.
Yeah, I've also been rolling for, like, there are some people that don't fit into those kingdom categories, like people who are, like, you know, orders that are kind of independent, main characters and such. So there is a bit more than one kingdom that are okay.
Okay.
And like I said, it's
say-
not those kingdoms that are affected, it's not their full contingent. But, you know, it's 150 out of the 600 you're moving with, basically.
Move all three to the front, let them take point in case we run into anything on the front.
Mm-hmm.
We need a strong force on the back just in case something comes up from behind us.
Haveray was less affected, so maybe they can take the rear then.
Sure. Breton is going to... I mean, Breton wants to keep directing things from the air, but I mean, Breton's also riding a mount who's fast as all fuck, so Breton is just going to... I think he's going to take a middle position, and keeping a careful eye out, he's going to be on intercept position. Basan seems like he was pretty on the point for navigating. He's also a scout, so having him stay in the front and continue to direct operations seems like a smart choice.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if you guys have any other opinions, single in here. Don't let me just make all the decisions.
I think it'll be taking point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back. As a guilty trip, he is going to.
My
I
Discord's
think
gone
he's
real
gonna
weird
have
lately.
he's gonna have Ferdinand and Hamo. He's gonna have them basically just hovering in the middle underneath where Breton is on the kids. He wants them close by, but also it keeps them in the safest spot because they're literally in the middle of the fucking army.
Sure.
What about Rosalinda? What about Elvin? What about the Haveray going to the back? So I can't imagine we're keeping the two from Haveray with them.
Yes.
There's 2 leaders in the back, 2 leaders in the front. You know, that works out. Let's split the others up in the front and back, and then Breton will take the middle. We can fold to protect the sides if we need to.
Sure. Okay. Sure. Breton, as you're and Ruby actually, because as you're both taking like very big watch positions, give me perception checks as you begin to move on to this third leg of the journey. Well, actually, second leg really.
Oof, 14.
Natural 20. Finally, my rolls are good.
Ruby, you spot it, and you remember this somewhat from the last time you were here. In the distance, they're probably a day in terms of journeying away, but you do notice. At first, you thought it was another one of the clouds of insects, so that's why it trigged to you. You're like, oh, more? Are they gonna be? Is it flying this way? When no, you realize it's the kicking up of dust. You remember
riders
the
are
last
coming.
time you were here, there was encampments of tribes. There was tribes here of, and I think they were identified last time, of they were centaur-like people.
I do remember this. They were like corrupted centaurs, yeah, because we took a higher position on a mountain step to avoid one of their trails.
You see, they're very, very distant. It's specks on the wind, but you see a contingent of them readying, mustering, or there's a commotion involving them.
And she'll point them out to Breton. Fly up next to him. So the centaur people are coming. Or at least they're getting ready for a battle.
Oh boy.
Could go around them, but they're faster than we are.
They'll run us down. Breton didn't see this. He's trusting Ruby's eyes on this, that they're mustering.
How many do I think, or is there still specks on the wind?
It's one of those things of they're miles away. You're picking up the dust, and you've managed to go, that's not clouds. And then it's like one of those things of, if I remember correctly, we saw that there was tribes that way. And if I remember, it's like one of those things of you're doing a lot of putting 2 and 2 together, and it's just like they're moving fast enough on the ground. You see movement on the ground. Like they are like 20 miles, if that. It's just you've got a really clear vantage point.
Sensor within... Oh, they're 20 miles away. Damn. Extend. How far does extend spell go?
Double the distance.
Double the distance, that's 2 miles away. Yeah, it's too far for clairvoyance to get a look at them.
They're 20 miles out. Even a car 20 miles out, we'd have plenty of time to rearrange. Keep an eye on them. And Breton will also start looking for like advantageous terrain to where we need to buckle down and prepare to receive a charge.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah. Ruby's gonna fly a little further ahead.
Okay.
Just
Valymr.
make sure we don't have any gold with us.
Valymr, give me a survival, please.
Oh, I'm such...
At advantage. You said you're the one taking point and guiding with
Yeah, well, that was a
Valymr
mistake.
help the Zane. Would that be better for us? Is Zane better at this?
Oh, it was so close to a 17! 7.
Basane's actually been to the portal you're going to, so yes, he would be better at this.
It's just, why can't we help him instead? Like,
I'm going off what you guys are calling as orders.
I don't think at any point we gave like after we got through. I don't think we've given Valymr like he's not the organizer. He's just like in the front protecting the front.
I'm going off of taking point, leading the way. Like,
well, we'll live by that. But I want it on record that Valymr is not leading the survival for this.
Just because you're in front doesn't mean you're guiding.
said the sergeant to the lieutenant.
It may have been your father, but it wasn't your daddy.
Okay. It's not dangerous right now, but it's slow going. The grass is kind of like, it gets to points where certain bits of the grass are like waist height rather than shin height, and trying to move through that in plate armor is rough terrain at this good point. But the thing that you are sure on is that this is directly this is the path that you will need to take if you want to continue towards the portal.
They're right in the way.
Yeah, like the one nice thing about this part of this plane of the abyss and this like level of the step, it's clear for miles. You have these giant horns of mountain that like pass on through that are like massive monoliths, but they're also really, really good markers. And you know where, in fact, Valymr, at one point you pass over the giant what you think is the remains of the defensive wall you guys put together when you received a charge here. It has been picked clean of anything that might be fleshy though at this point. But yeah, the army progresses and moves. It's moving at a difficult pace.
Got it.
Breton, you and Ruby keep checking out on the riders, and it's a case of they do seem to now be progressing towards you. You think they'll be with you at nightfall?
Oh, that's a fucking...
Or whatever would constitute at night as nightfall.
Yeah. Is there a day-night cycle here? Like, I don't know.
How many?
When we sleep, they will... I mean, it doesn't matter. They'll stay out of range until we start putting tents up.
50 to 100, possibly, individuals?
Okay.
If they're using Parthian tactics and, you know...
The who? Who are Parthians? What's a Parthian?
I mean, like I said, we better not have a lot of gold on us, or we'll face the same fate as Cassius.
Corsec.
Or any rock you try to go after war Parthia.
Cognate tactics. Disarian tactics.
I'm also thinking Kuranuleg. The Centaur Plains in Dunpadar.
Valymr is going to be clued in onto that happening, just to make sure that every one of us is on the point and sane as well. That there is an enemy force on an intercept path.
Mm-hmm.
An option we have is if you want to take me up, fly over these guys, and I'll just, A10 Warthog down at them with Eldritch Blast.
The thought has occurred to me. Once we get to the point we can be certain that they are moving to that they are preparing an intercept on us, we drop on them instead of them dropping on us.
Yeah.
I'm game for
With
that.
with a group, you said there's what, like 20 or so that can summon flying mounts? Yo, Pegasus Night Charge is an absolute vibe. Also, it is for the lady because, you know, these guys are Frenchy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we need to call the. I don't know about that, but we'll see. We need to get a good count on how many of them there are. Once they get closer, Ruby can very capably find that out. At that point, we can make a decision about how we want to personally handle it. Because they really have. Me and Breton gestures over to Ruby. We have artillery mage number 1, and gestures over to Elmir, gun mage number 2. So
Yeah,
I'm the outranged
sniper.
and outpowered. They got the numbers. We got the firepower.
Yeah.
The sniper and the bomber.
Ruby, give me a quick intelligence check. You're making an assessment of distance here. If you have another skill you feel like you could weigh, I'll allow it, but right now I think it's kind of straight intelligence.
I can persuade them to tell me their distance. No.
Hey! Hey!
Hey guys, when are you gonna attack us?
9. Sorry. Intelligence is not my thing.
You think within the hour they will be within range of your... Oh, what spell is it you're thinking of doing to try and get a vision on?
Clairvoyance?
Oh, clairvoyance.
Yeah, you think within the hour they'll actually be in range. Give me another perception check though now. See if you can get a better grasp of numbers and stuff.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Advantage. Oh, it's an advantage that I rolled. I didn't roll with advantage. I just rolled.
You get the impression there's about 100, maybe more, maybe less, of these riders.
Thank goodness, guys, my rolls are back to normal.
Join me in the doldrums.
My point still stands.
Yeah. I imagine, like, if they're moving quickly, there's a huge cloud. It's really hard to make out specifics.
That's how they're tracking us, I would assume. Like, an Army 600 in full plate is kicking up dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not... It's not... There's no stealthing this. Like...
Mm-hmm. I didn't expect that we were going to sneak around them in this one. It's not the 3 of us, creeping around. It's an army. It's hard to hide an army moving on an open terrain.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the plan still stands. Let them get within a couple of miles. Take a close look once we figure out what we're dealing with. Especially like if they stop moving. If they stop moving because they're like waiting for us to become vulnerable, then we can do it. If they don't wait for us, we can still head them off.
Okay. Another hour passes. They are in clairvoyance range.
Okay, then I will cast it. It's an invisible sensor, and I have a scroll.
Mm-hmm.
Breton will basically just like grab Ruby and set him on the back of the mount so she can hold on, so she's not, flying through the air blind and deaf.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing to crash into, but if you just start tilting downward a little bit.
So you leave the invisible sensor essentially in an area that the army passed through, because that would give you that would allow for a familiar location rather than trying to direct it onto it, and they pass through. You see, how far do you see?
Is that also to be put in a point you can see, like directly on top of?
I mean, I can see the ground.
You create an invisible sensor in the range of a location familiar to you, or in an obvious location that is unfamiliar to you.
I can see it. I don't even. It's
So it's
familiar.
behind the door, around the corner, or in a group of trees, or over top the army.
Yeah, like I can look right at it.
It's... Yes, the place that you can put it is a place that you have visited or seen before. Yes, it's like
I'm currently visiting this place.
I
can see.
So, okay, then describe to me where you want to put it. Because my idea was you'd place it in a region you know they're about to hit, and then vision through that.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's about 100 feet up from an area she could see about 2 miles out.
Okay.
I get what you're saying, Midge. Like, pinpointing the actual distance might be awkward, but because the way the spell frames it, just like you don't have to give like I'm putting it 10 feet in front of me. It's just like I want to put it over where that cloud is. I feel like that fits the description of the spell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're looking through this then, Ruby. Give me a perception check.
I don't suppose I can help her do this.
Gladly
I
not.
didn't think so. Nope, that's totally fair. It's what I'd say too. It did. You sorcery points to re-roll that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the one.
It did bounce off of a 1 for a moment there.
You also do have 1 point of luck from the beacony doodad.
Sure. 17.
Okay. You think the group numbers in about, like, just shy of 100. And as they're getting closer, you see one that seems to be a leader shouting. What languages do you speak?
Which ones don't I speak?
I don't think we speak Abyssal.
I do. Abyssal, Common, Draconic, Dwarven, Elvish,
You
Fionian,
understand
Infernal, and Primordial.
There you go. Jesus, you speak a lot of languages.
Prodigy.
The one that seems to be a leader seems to be shouting orders. And he's essentially, as they're riding, he's like breaking the group up into smaller groups. And they're planning on like going around and essentially waiting for the army to slow, and then they're going to hit and run from certain points is their plan. They're going to wait until you stop, and then they're going to break up as a force. Right now they're riding together. That's what you hear.
Okay. Yeah, Ruby will relay that information to Breton.
Good, so you have to hit him now.
Well, I don't know if we can
how
fight
much longer
100 of
until
them.
we would break?
How
How much longer until the army would be ready for moving into a rest?
Start setting up camp, probably hour or two, depending on how hard you're pushing it.
Well, we don't have to eliminate them all. We just have to prove to them this is not in their best interest. It's a risk, but it's a risk to us. But it's the safest. It's going to keep the army as safe as possible.
You want to take down 100 Centaur?
I'm not saying we take down 100 of them. I say we take down enough to make them realize this is not worth their time.
I can definitely do that.
Let's go let Valymr know.
Sure.
Fill Valymr in. Let him know the plan.
100 Centaur. Okay. So what do you think? The leader goes down, the rest scatter?
I can throw everything I have on the leader pretty quickly. I probably will be able to kill him and hope that works. Teleport in, teleport out.
And you speak their language?
I do.
I was gonna say, I would imagine just take them from above. I don't know how well they can do at range, but you can do a lot of damage over a wide area, and Valymr is very good at pinpointing targets. Valymr can focus on the leader. You can disrupt the ranks, and we see how quickly they fall to watching both leadership and numbers fall quickly.
Make them
Do you
panic.
want to give them a chance to surrender?
We are in the abyss. If you're feeling that generous.
She'll shrug. I'm indifferent to it at the end, the demons, but...
What did they say? You heard them speak through their clairvoyance.
They're going to break up into small groups once we slow down to attack us at different angles. Hit and run.
They're gonna ambush at night.
No, fuck that. We take them out. We throw down some heavy punishment, make them scatter.
Up from above?
Can you get me into the air?
Just points at Silver.
Brent just lowers the hand down to pull him up.
Rips my arm out of my socket.
I imagine Bethany and the other leaders are hearing this because Valymr is traveling with most of them. But yeah, we'll form Bethany and form basically the individuals that we gave the buff to, like the buff crew. We'll just call them the buff crew for this one.
Your designated commanders.
Yeah, commanders, sure, designated commanders. Form them, have them pass the message through their own ranks of that we are moving to deal with the problem. But for their sake, pass the message along. When you start setting up camp, healthy soldiers on the exterior, spears and shields.
What do you want to do about your possible air contingent? Do you want to get more? Do you want to scramble all fighters? What are we doing?
Intimidation is kind of what we're going for. We're not killing 100. We need to scatter them. So intimidating them with, oh shit, they've got like 20 griffins coming down, blowing chunks out of us. Like that seems like
I was afraid that, do we want to risk these guys? These are people who are capable of summoning griffins. No, I think they can handle themselves. Let's bring them. Let's make a point. Let's drop the air force on these guys.
Full deployment. Okay. So as a secondary caveat, do you want Elwyn to come, or do you want him to stay?
Elwyn's one of the commanders. Do we want to risk any of the commanders? I mean, the three of us are already going.
I think we leave commanders at base in case there is some surprise. We've got commanders there that can do some hefty bullshit. We'll take just 20. I don't know if they're all riding griffins. Some of them might be like flying unicorns or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, imagine if any of the half-right people are coming, they're riding bats.
Okay. Preferably air mounts though, because we might actually be able to take them by surprise if we're not in a storm.
I don't think we take anyone on the ground. I think it is pure air force.
Fly high, soar high, and drop fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe this is what the Germans did with their Sturgos, is they just.
Your Stukas are boosting this? Sorry, Stuka, yeah. Ju-88 it, okay.
This is as much about causing terror in them.
You could have gone for an American plane.
I know, but we could have. But the concept is simple. We're here to cause terror amongst them as much as we are to cause casualties.
Okay.
We're here to make them realize you should be afraid. This is not your business.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so you assemble a mixed contingent of flying mounts. Is the easiest way to put it. You got a couple of griffin, majority Pegasus, a couple of Peritons, and the one.
They're weird. They're very weird. Don't ask.
I like them.
If memory serves, there's a weird trait of Peritons that their shadows look like women.
Yes.
Just normal women. It's one of their prey tactics.
Alright, I search Periton and I'm finding drugs. Hang on.
No, P-E-R-Y-T-O-N.
Yeah.
Periton, okay. They are in fact weird.
They're kind of cool though.
Yeah. I mean,
and you don't see a giant bat from the one from Havre that can.
What's he flying?
I'm not
gonna lie. This Periton looks like a flying bat.
Do you want? Okay, no. This is a question. Do you want the other named characters from Havre to come?
That's up to you, Valymr. That's your dog and your horse.
It will be.
Which one would it be? Because I only know 3 of them, and I know Theodora is
the one with a.
She's riding a unicorn, though, right?
Greater stage. I mean,
unicorns don't fly.
She does.
A unicorn with wings.
Yeah, well, she's got.
Okay, sure. Look, she's got some fucking lungs on her. She can be the Stuka whistle.
Okay, I was using that as an example. We don't have to take it literally. Again, they were the bad guys. And we've already, you know what? I'm not even gonna say that. That's never mind.
Okay. So she has it's like a unicorn Pegasus, but it's jet black.
Based. Yeah. Liking it.
Sure.
And yeah. Okay, so aerial contingent.
I'd make a My Little Pony reference if I knew anything about My Little Pony.
This is literally zero.
So
for me.
there's
One of them was a
basically-
black unicorn with wings, right?
I'm pretty sure. But
Probably. I don't know.
there's 18 additional people coming with you three then.
Sure.
Sweet.
18 on flying mounts, just
This is protecting people, but I hate to say it. I think there's a brief moment where Breton is just smiling to himself. We're like, let's try and have some fun with this.
Look,
Okay.
these creatures, these literal demons. These are literal demons.
This is Breton fulfilling. This is Breton taking his fight to the home field because this is Breton's sworn oath being upheld, and I think he's taking a little too much joy out of it.
okay. So again, there's 18 others. How are you dividing them down? What's the formation? How are you guys attacking this group?
How many of them have decent ranged capabilities, and what kind of ranged capabilities do they have? Is it purely just weapons? Do any of them have ranged magic spells?
They're all the 18 that are coming with you are paladins.
So, like, how many of them are like carrying lances? Or is he like, are
There's
these, like,
a good like. Okay, let's give some definites. There's definitely some lancers.
How many carry javelins? Because I'm thinking we do a Roman strat, like before we hit, like everyone launches a javelin at the same time.
Theodora definitely has javelins. She likes spears. They're all looking like unicorn horns.
do you want to ride with Theodora, Valymr? Because Breton is going to want to get up close and personal.
Sure.
Because he is not a ranged fighter, but that way you two can just, take advantage of the air.
Sure.
She
Sure.
also
That works for me.
is
If
someone that will
she
have
lets
a
me.
lance. Yeah, no, she will. Like you hear that's like one of those things.
Look, if her
I would-
steed is big enough to carry her, she can carry my puny ass too.
Oh yeah, it is. It's almost like if you gave a nightmare wings.
Yeah.
Sick.
No, I'm all about it. It's awesome. You don't need to give it nightmare wings; they can already fly. But yeah, I get it.
It's true. I would say you will have taken 10 minutes to scramble fighters. That's why I'm going for the.
Well, it takes 10 minutes to summon the mounts,
Exactly.
regardless. So we have time to make battle plans.
Yeah, exactly. You can make a quick battle plan here.
Fly.
So, I would say that most paladins aren't like you two. They do carry range weapons as well.
He doesn't need them, and Breton. Listen, it's a chore to pick up all the javelins you can throw to the kid. It's also like Breton can carry a javelin that he can throw 30 feet when he's got Ruby, who can drop a fireball 150 feet away and do way more than he ever could, and Valymr, who is literally just beams on demand. So it's never been that important. If I ever take a level of
Does this
Warlock, though,
thing
you better believe I'm
increase-
taking Eldritch Blast. I'm taking a ranged option.
But yeah, there's some have got lances, others are sword and board. A couple of people with short bows. It's a mixed bag. I would say that 1/3 have like a ranged option.
Then why don't we break them into two groups? Ruby's going to be, I don't know, Ruby's not as fast with her normal wings as a flying mount would be, but range group in one formation, flying V with the lance formation, and we'll just let them engage. Then once the first volley goes through, just sweep through them with a couched lance.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
I have a 240-foot range with my Eldritch Blast.
Nice. Absolutely.
If you took
Okay.
Spell Sniper, you'd have 600-foot range.
True, but I don't.
Which wouldn't come up a lot, but right now you could literally just be in the time zone over, just pew 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 pew.
All my strength, praise thee to help me.
I'm more thinking Simohea.
I just wouldn't say.
Teach them how show them the experience that the Russians got with the White Death.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So, spellcasters and range options. I will say that, yeah, you could probably shoot at heavily effective range is 150 feet, but I know you two have the options to go for first, so we're not going to really initiative this. It's going to kind of be your group will have action options, their group will have action options, and we'll go from there. But you guys definitely get the... I will say you guys get surprised, because I don't know that these guys noticed. However, they are normally aware of dealing...
how often did they get attacked from the air?
A lot. Remember, you were...
Yeah, those mosquitoes...
So...
We were. there are the bigger creatures. I do remember that. We got attacked the one time.
So it's like, they are ready for... But it's enough that you guys have enough range that they're not suspected. Like, those things, remember, they couch charge. That's what the those big proboscis bugs did. So they're kind of expecting that. Plus, they see lances in the air. What magic? What magic we dropping?
I just want a gift of what I'm dropping.
Okay. What is
Darkstar?
What's the range on Darkstar?
150 feet, but I can always extend it, baby.
So, I think Valymr's shooting first. Then.
Because if 300 feet is farther than 240.
Yeah.
I'm the 240.
Yeah, I'm the 300.
Oh, you're extending it to 300. I see. Right. Sorry.
Listen, we're about to make camp for the day. I hate to say it, Midge, we're going Nova on this encounter. Not a resource will be spared. Not a resource will be spared.
I don't blame you. It's a great and you guys noticed this. Like, this is good that you're getting ahead of this challenge. Ruby, are you riding with someone, or are you flying on your own speed? Because that's also changed the pace at what people are moving at.
I would say she can ride with Breton until they get to engagement range, and then she can just hop off and have full control of her own movement.
Okay, cool. Right, so you get to 300 feet, you jump off, and you're dark starring. What's
Ruby just halo dropping off the side until she just flies out.
Yeah, well,
describe to me what it is.
Yeah. Eternity collapse into an instant as she casts an Aeon, flicks a finger towards a point and gestures, and from that single point, a swirling black hole of infinite darkness will expand out and create an event horizon around it that sucks in all light and sound.
Okay. How big of the sphere radius you're going with?
Big as I can throw it at 8th level, so...
It's the sphere that doesn't change with the level, so it's 40 feet. You can have a radius of up to 40 feet. Okay. Which enters the spell for the first time.
80-foot circle.
Okay. Can you roll 8d10 force damage, please? And I'm going to roll some rolls on there.
They got to make con saves first,
exactly. Well, they take half either way, so please roll. I want to know what the damage threshold is. I want to see the big damage die.
44. I just hit Valymr. I don't know why he's targeted.
Clear your targets.
I don't know. He shouldn't be targeted at all.
I think you're gonna have to
don't target me, Ben.
You're gonna jump on a map to do that.
Yeah, I don't know why he's targeted. I don't know how to untarget him from here.
Open up the combat tracker, and then it should be.
Yeah, you can shift click somebody in to target them and detarget them in the combat tracker.
Yeah.
See, now it says you're targeting him.
Valymr, make sure you give yourself back the temporary HP if you had it.
So, okay, just to clarify, I rolled a 29.
Yes.
I up my max HP by 29.
Yes.
Yeah.
Moving
and I get those HP to 29, so I go from 151 to 180.
Yep.
Yep.
And I get temp HP?
Yes, of the exact same matching number.
Sick as shit, alright.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a really good buff. Listen, as we have learned, the Platinum Chalice does us no wrong.
Yeah, it is the best item you could have got in your prep.
It might be the best item I've seen in any D&D game, because it has come a long way.
Look, it might have been buffed a certain amount in the fact that this party went from 7 people to 3,
yes, that's
and I didn't
fair.
want to rebalance every single encounter I had.
That's entirely fine. Yeah. Listen, this was originally designed to be a thing that you got once a week, not every day. All right. Yeah, so you want to control click Valymr, because that's how you target and detarget.
No, you.
Well, it still says you're targeting Valymr.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Now you're not.
Okay, 44. You give me a quick perception check, because I want to be able to maximize how many of these bastards you hit.
By the way, this is an ongoing effect as well, Midge. This is not. This is just.
Oh, I
lingering.
know, and you're hitting the front, and it's like one of those things of okay. No,
Roll,
that's
I need
roll
to
your
stop making fucking rolls.
burn your sorcery point. Re-roll that shit.
Yeah. This is stupid, though. I'm getting really tired of rolling sub 6. I repeat, I'm getting really tired of rolling sub 6.
It's not your day. It's not your day.
My Sunday.
It hasn't been my day all fucking week. It's been absurd.
Okay.
It's going around.
I will still say you hit a good 20 people in this first salvo, because the speed that they're riding, you just drop this like orb in front of them, and there is a pace at which you can't stop a cavalry charge. Like on a dime. Like some of them do get out, but it's a gravity well. You're pulling their physical forms. You see, what you do notice is these guys have relatively hardy constitution. But there are some heavy hit there. I would say, Valymr, you're next up. You're trying to identify the leader who you haven't seen. So give me... Give me a perception check.
Oh, sorry, hon. Oh, look at that. There's my 20.
22.
Yeah,
22.
they're both of them.
You notice a guy. You notice one that is riding towards the front of the column that the Darkstar kind of just landed behind. He was pulled a little bit and moved. He's got like 2 hand axes, and he's like hitting them together.
Trying to corral the troops.
And you now hear it. All of these. There's like a lot of yipping and shouts and calls from these creatures. And again, they are like They're like centaurs, but they have 6 legs. So 3 on each side, and then like their body
Sleep near Tors.
instead of like a man's visage, it's
Centipedors.
It's like, sorry, did I say 6? I meant it's 8, so it's like 4-4.
Okay.
And instead of like a man's visage coming out of them, it's closer to like a jackal-ish thing, with then like this armored helmet that you can't really see their face, but it's like you notice horns, helmet, and then almost like those dogmen that you saw, kind of like that doggish form.
All right. Well,
yeah, you notice this one that's like making a lot of noise.
I'm gonna get as low as I can over the neck of this nightmare winged Pegasus thing. Aim down the spell-lock gauntlet and just unleash as many Eldritch Blasts into his face as I can.
You're looking at someone with an AC of 18.
Okay. I need to figure out what I roll here, because there is so many different things I'm adding onto this.
Sure.
So, charisma plus 5. Proficiency gets added, right? So that's plus 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's 11. I've got the amulet of I'm really good at being a good boy. That's another plus 2. And then the spell-lock gauntlet is
stack.
another. Why not?
Spellcasting focuses don't stack.
Oh, is that because it's a spell focus? Okay, I didn't
So
know
if
that.
you're using the spell-lock gauntlet as a thing to cast through, it is the casting focus for
Okay,
this, not the amulet
so
that you've got.
this amulet doesn't count. Okay, got it. Good to know. Reverse math then.
6-5 and whatever the spell gauntlet is,
Yeah, let me just double check.
or the necklace, whichever is higher.
Plus 2. It's plus 2 for the gauntlet as well.
Okay.
So
11, 5, and 2, so that's 13.
13.
So 75% chance of hitting on each of these.
Yep.
All right, that is the Eldritch Blast.
That's the sort of nerdy math that Lake appreciates. Come on!
Or you saw that.
Oh.
I saw that.
Point of luck,
20
baby.
in there.
Point of luck. Point of luck, baby. Point
Okay,
of
yeah,
luck.
go for it. Oh, guys.
Well, you're already beating the odds.
You just boom hit its feet. What? It wasn't anything to do with your aim. Just the Eldritch Blast got slightly pulled by the Dark Star's gravity, and just boom.
God damn it! All right.
Still got more shots.
Second
Yeah.
beam. That's a hit.
Roll damage.
And this is what? 2d10 plus 5.
Which you've got agonizing blast. Yeah.
How am I gonna do? Hang on. Let me just edit this to say 2d10. There we go. That's 15 damage to start with.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Third beam. That's another hit.
Yes, it is.
Another 14 damage. Kind of want to.
Nice.
And then last beam. You fucking bag of. I'm using another point of luck.
Okay.
I think
That's another hit. Oh, fucking Christ.
Okay. Good
Awful damage.
He was
Awful damage.
He was pulled slightly by the Dark Star as well, so he looks bloodied. Like you have like carved chunks in this man, but he's still riding forward, and they see that, and he's like shouting. You notice that a load of them ready javelins.
Mm-hmm. I do have a ranged attack that I do want to do, Mitch.
Go for it. Yeah, what's the range on it? Because so do some of your troops.
So there's a leader there. Is he being enveloped? Is there anything that's getting close to him at all? Within say hypothetically 30 feet.
Are you saying terrain? Are you saying people?
I'm saying him. Any other of these riding centaurs? Are there any other within 30 feet of the leader?
Oh, absolutely. I know where this is going. There absolutely
so
is.
Breton is going to drop to 150 feet, and for the first time, he is going to draw the Blade of Equilibrium. He is going to point it down at the leader. He is going to cast Chain Lightning.
Yes, let's go. Go for it.
So then it's going to target to him, and then it's going to jump to with 3 other centaurs within 30 feet. I don't know what the saving throw on this is, because I don't have a saving throw on the blade.
What's your saving throw?
If it's mine, then it's not very high, because Breton doesn't have a super high saving throw. That is going to be a DC 14. Doesn't seem right. Hold on.
That's not been adapted.
That's
like your base, right?
8 plus. Should be my charisma. Charisma is my spellcasting ability. That's gonna be 17. DC 17.
That sounds about right. Okay. Like with does it do half damage if saved?
It is half damage on a success. It is 5d8 lightning, 5d8 radiant.
I would say roll those bones. I want to see the damage first.
Alrighty. Boop. That was 12 points of lightning, 26 points of radiant damage.
Oof. Interesting mix of rolls there. But
it was a really bad roll on bow. Actually, it's a really bad lightning roll. It was an average radiant roll.
As you lower the Blade of Equilibrium and point it at this leader, the chain lightning ripples out. It carves straight through his metal breastplate, leaving a hole through his body. It ripples up, connects to his the rear sternum of his horse-like rump, and then bounces to others. You see 3 of them, the other 3 of them, just obliterated. Most of them absolutely demolished by the Dark Star, but they just crumple, and you see others pulling over. Crossbows, light bows, and armaments from the rest of from other paladins all also fire out, taking out, let's call it 15, but the leader's also down. The Darkstar is still going as
It's
well.
still going.
And some of them
And
are
they
about to
can't hear
plow
it.
into it as well.
Yeah, Breton's 150 feet away. He's just going to call out, "Live and flee, stay and die."
Okay, nice.
I don't know if they speak common. I don't really care. He's just making a point of saying it.
Okay. They are going to try and max range javelin throw at, like,
Sure.
some of them. You see coming up. Doesn't hit your AC there, Breton, at all. And it's like match range, so it's disadvantage. You see
Actually, I'm not even sure javelins can hit 150 feet.
120 is their max, and they're riding forward. So
we're outside. Okay, well, Breton's up, so he's 30 feet above their maximum range.
Oh shit, no, they can't hit you.
Yeah, because the chain lightning's range is 150.
And so all of them just, they're trying, and it's just like missing everybody. Ruby, a load of them just started their turn inside your Darkstar. Can you roll me some
Sucks to be
damage?
them.
Can you roll me some damage, please?
I would gladly roll you some damage.
It's a fate. I imagine that is horrifying too, because they can't see what's going on. They can't hear what's going on. It's sensory deprivation while they're being crushed to death.
55 points of force damage.
I'm going to describe this from your eyes, Ruby. You just see the, like... How do I describe it?
Their outsides become their insides.
They ride in, they don't ride out.
They don't ride out,
just
yeah.
integrate. They
I
cease
can't
to
tell.
exist.
You see people riding into it, and like you're seeing their forms as well being pulled towards it slightly. It's like it's almost like pouring water down a well. As a good 30 to 40 of these individuals crumple in. The groups do scatter now, though. They're seeing this. They are breaking up into like composite 10 groups. There's probably about 60 of them left, all told.
Cool. Well, tell me if you've heard this before. Fireball.
Go for it.
She's pulling out the wand and she's throwing out some fireballs. You know what? Let's fucking have fun with this fireball. I've got spell slots to burn. Let's throw this one at 7.
And this, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, is why aerial-based combat began to dominate the war zone post-World War I. It's a really interesting advance in humanity's line, but this is a fantasy expectation of it. And, like, basically, overwhelming force from the air tends to win battlefields. Hence the 8-10 Warthogs that I have now put together as an adventure party,
11,
taking
12,
on this...
D6?
Taking
Yeah,
on
I was
this
going to actually,
out... So... warfare, like where you have one army that is far less technologically advanced than the other, tends to go really poorly.
I was going to cite, I believe it's the Falklands War, where the British ships had a range of 26 miles and the Argentinian ships only had a range of 13 miles. So, really bad for the Argentinians there.
43 damage on the first salvo. Wait, 43? Yeah, 43.
Mm-hmm.
And this one will be at 6, so that's...
44.
44, oh.
There are 3 ones.
And
they don't resist that, fire.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is the next one.
44, again.
44.
Ooh.
Fireball.
Boom, boom. Two different groups that are broken off. Bang, bang, get hit. You see more of them collapse and die. Those two groups that you hit, the ones that remain, turn tail. Others are starting to turn tail. You have your group ready to charge, Breton. Are you sending them in? Because
if they are turning to flee, then I think rather than risking them taking damage, because clearly Valymr and Ruby are just going ham on these guys. It's going fine. I think just kind of like holds a hand up, like hold.
Valymr?
Can I throw out some Eldritch Blast?
Oh, absolutely. There's still some charging forward.
Is there like any sub commanders? Anyone look bigger than the others?
Give me a perception check.
I'll also point out.
Will probably actually, rather than holding, I think he's going to guide them forward. If they keep going forward, then they're going to get caught. They're going to get caught from the front and above.
That's plus 6 instead, so that'd be a 19.
Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a guy that he has like what looks to be a headsman's axe that he's holding. He's going forward.
All right, I'm aiming for that guy then.
Go for it.
I will also point out that though Beth is incredibly excited to throw these out, Ruby is actually casting very dispassionately. It's just
31, I assume, hits, doing 17 damage. Second bolt, is he still alive?
He's still alive. Amazingly,
Okay.
he hasn't been hit yet.
Does a 16 hit him?
No.
Does a 17 hit him?
No.
Fucking Christ. I'll use my
You are
last point of
eating
luck.
math
Fuck that.
right now, Valymr.
Fucking-
You are the odds on that were the other direction.
Alright.
He gets hit, and it makes him look around and see that most of his forces are running.
Okay, and I hit him one more
Yes, you do
time
hit him one
and
more time.
do 20 damage.
20 damage is... Oh, he takes a hit. He looks around, and then he looks up at you all, and looks everywhere, and he's like... He begins to shout in Infernal. Ruby, you hear this. Basically, he's...
Infernal?
Infernal, Abyssal.
Abyssal.
Ruby, he's calling for a retreat.
good. No.
Okay. For the most part, you're looking at this. Breton, you can make a tactical assessment. They're running.
Yeah. Brett will just call out, if any of them decide they're going to be wise about it, cut them off before they get to the army. Otherwise, fall back.
Okay.
He's calling for the melee troops to fall back. No need for them to get in range and risk themselves. Otherwise,
Fair
like,
enough.
these two can do what the hell.
I
And to
think that-
chase them off another fireball, just to make sure they get the message.
I need to double check what Breton said because I lost internet there for a moment.
That was all
Instead,
in Discord.
Yeah, so the basic line was fall back to the army. Any of them that get wise, cut them off. Otherwise, we return.
Fab. Okay.
These two, they've, like, from what I tell, we've taken 0 damage, let alone casualties.
Yep.
So, no need for the melee to put themselves at risk. The range can just keep on harrying them
Okay.
as much as they want until they come
Sure.
back, assuming they don't get... Actually, you know what? Breton is going to take... you said tactical assessment. He's going to take a look around just to make sure that we didn't, in the middle of this, get snuck up on by, say, the same creatures that were flying around the first time we were here.
Okay.
Because
Give me a perception check.
we've probably drawn a little bit of attention. That's a 17.
You don't see anything near you.
Okay, I will trust that roll, and Breton will start to lead the melee troops back towards the line, heading off anything that might head that direction.
Cool. Awesome. Ranged options. Are you chasing them down, or are you letting them run?
Oh, making sure they leave, just for extra emphasis, and stay out
Okay.
in Abyssal. Don't fuck with Elendor and fireball.
Okay, fire those fireballs. Valymr, are you shooting? You pick some targets?
Sure, I'll shoot some bolts up their asses.
Sure. Give me a load of bolts.
Take some pot shots, knock some cans off the fence.
33 and that should have
42.
been 42. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, now I do all
No,
4 hits.
Yeah.
All 4 hits. Roll 4 damage.
All 4 hit. Yeah. Spread it however you will. I don't really care. I'm
From the 95 or so riders that began rushing towards you guys, under 10 remain.
fuck 'em. I'm leaving. No point tiring ourselves out at this point.
The Darkstar did a lot.
Yeah. 80-foot sphere that just mulches things in. Yeah.
In the middle of a running cavalry formation who can't stop right away.
Yeah. And it just appears. It's just... Imagine just we're driving along in a car and all of a sudden the world went black. sound disappeared and you're being crushed to death. It's
when it
horrifying.
ends, there's literally a perfect crater
Yep.
right where it was left.
Fear on the earth, yeah.
And that's what a narcoleptic driving.
Well, with that, as you return to the army, I'm going to end today's session. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. All I've got left to do is to thank those who have been here. Thank you to DM Lake, to Lord Lambert, and to Bethany Rose. I've been Midgeman. We've been the Monday cast on the Elendor Chronicles. Component cast should be back tomorrow with more Lancer. So check us out then. And until we are live next time, we'll see you. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye now.
This has been a crash course in level 17 gameplay.